range over that country. And now we're going to look very strongly at the Straits. The Straits are in great shape. We've knocked out all of their boats. They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape. The main thing is we have to win this. They win it quickly, but win it. And there are many people, I'm just watching some of the news. Most people say it's already been won. It's just a question of when. When do we stop? We don't want to let it regrow. And ideally would like to see somebody in there that knows what they're doing. In other words, they can build a country. Now, one other thing, we can hit sections of Tehran and other places that if you do it, it'll be almost impossible for them to rebuild their country. And we don't want that. But we can hit electric, we could take apart their electric capacity within 1 hour, and it would take them 25 years to rebuild it. So ideally, we're not going to be doing that. They are pretty much at the end of the line. Doesn't mean we're going to end it immediately, but they've got no Navy, they've got no Air Force, they've got no anti-air traffic, anything. They have no systems of control. We're just riding free range over that country. And now we're going to look very strongly at the Straits. The Straits are in great shape. We've knocked out all of their boats. They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape. The main thing is we have to win this. They win it quickly, but win it. And there are many people, I'm just watching some of the news. Most people say it's already been won. It's just a question of when. When do we stop? We don't want to let it regrow. And ideally would like to see somebody in there that knows what they're doing. In other words, they can build a country. Now, one other thing, we can hit sections of Tehran and other places that if you do it, it'll be almost impossible for them. Their Air Force is gone, totally gone. That took the better part of about 3 hours. They no longer have radar. They don't have anti-aircraft equipment. They don't have anything. Their missiles are down 90%. Their drones are down 85%. We're blowing up the factories where they're made left and right.
I mean, for them it's a war. For us it's turned out to be easier than we thought. But think of it, they had thousands of missiles, 7,000, 8,000 missiles. We got many of them before they got to launch. They have drones all over the place. We got many now. We're knocking out the drone plants, as you know, going fast. We take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury. Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You know, you can only do. And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. But we won. But they gave me a list of names of generals. Sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names. And I'm like falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name. I like that name. They don't know what the hell hit them, right? They don't know what hit them. They got hit by the American military. They don't know. They say, what the hell is happening? They didn't expect anything like this.
You've heard what the US president has to say, but the Qatar Prime Minister, meanwhile, has said the region is going through grave circumstances amid this escalating war in West Asia. Listen in to his comments.
نجتمع اليوم والمنطقة تمر في ظروف عصيبة بأسباب التصعيد العسكري الذي أطالها وأطال دولة قطر واعتداءات المتكررة من إيران للأسف التي لم تستهدف فقط أهدافا عسكرية بل أهدافا مدنية غير مكترثة بالإضرار بقطر وبمقدرات شعبها. ولا يفوتني هنا أن نشيد بأداء القوات المسلحة القطرية والأجهزة الأمنية كافة على ما يقومون به للدفاع عن هذه الأرض وشعبها ويواصلون الليل بالنهار لأجل منحنا هذا الشعور بالأمن والأمان. كما أود أن أثني
The latest we're tracking on NDTV currently. There are reports of an Iranian attack triggering a huge blaze at Bahrain's Muharraq government facility. Bahrain's Interior Ministry has released this video playing on your screens at the moment. It shows a huge fire following what they are calling Iranian attacks at a facility in Muharraq Governorate, northeast of the country's capital. As you can see, there's a huge blaze hitting a fuel tank with firefighters attempting to extinguish this entire blaze. Arjun Samar Mahendran tracking the latest developments for us. He'll be joining us in just a few moments from now. This as Bahrain's government has released this video of a huge fire following what they are calling Iranian attacks at a facility in the Muharraq Governorate, northeast of the country's capital. Arjun is with us at the moment. Arjun, what latest details can you disclose?
Well, the latest we have just received an update from the Ministry of Interior, Bahrain's Ministry of Interior. News, of course, breaking first here on NDTV. It's urged its citizens and residents in the Hid, Arad, Kalali and Samahij areas to remain in their homes, close their windows and also ventilation openings as precaution against potential effects of smokes from the fires currently being fought. So the Bahrain Ministry of Interior underlining that the fires are still being combated. As you see the flames rising from your screen, the shots are probably from a few hours ago that you see on your screens, but I can tell you as of this moment, the fires are still raging according to the statement that has just come in from the Ministry of Interior from Bahrain. Back to you.
Coming in. As always, Arjun, thanks so much. We'll of course revert for regular updates. Meanwhile, in an interview with NDTV near the Israel-Lebanon border, Lieutenant Colonel Nadav Shoshani, spokesperson for the Israel Defense Forces, said this crisis has become a multi-front war involving strikes against Iran and fighting with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. He said Hezbollah joined the war alongside Iran and accused the group of attempting attacks on Israeli civilians. Listen in.
Well, it's been 12 days of relentless war here in Israel. It's also been a multi-front war for the IDF that we are witnessing, one against the Iranian regime and second at the northern border against Hezbollah. Joining us is the IDF spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Shoshani. Thank you very much for joining us. Could you explain for our viewers, it's been 12 days of relentless war, and also in the last 6 to 7 days, you have been continuously bombing Hezbollah. Where are we standing right now, and could you explain the view to our viewers?
Well, we're looking at the Lebanese border. Those high hilltops right across of us, controlling the entire area, is the border area, but that's the Lebanese side of the border. And a week and a half ago, Hezbollah decided we will fight Israel alongside the Iranian regime. Hezbollah is an Iranian proxy that is an extension of the Iranian regime in this region. They decided war against Israel. They decided to try and kill Israeli civilians. We knew this was a possibility. We acted in self-defense. We carried out strikes against their targets, and we were holding the defense line, making sure that there's not a Hezbollah terrorist looking at me and you right now on that hilltop.
In the last 2.5 years, we've seen relentless, bombing against Hezbollah as well. We saw how the pagers went off all across. We saw the entire leadership of Hezbollah being wiped off, really. What are your objectives right now? Are you looking at a scenario where you'll completely annihilate the Hezbollah from Lebanon?
Well, first of all, there's an agreement in hand, an agreement between Israel and Lebanon that says that Hezbollah will no longer be an armed group in southern Lebanon posing a threat to Israel. That's an agreement that both sides agreed upon, and I think that's the right thing moving forward. But right now, we're dealing with an immediate threat. Right now, they chose war against Israel. They chose to try and kill Israeli civilians, and we're going to do everything we need to prevent that.
And is the Israeli government getting support from the Lebanese government? Is there diplomacy at play? Is there militaries also in touch to completely wipe out Hezbollah?
Well, we've seen the right types of statements condemning Hezbollah for dragging the region into another war in the name of the Iranian regime. And we have different levels of coordination through mechanisms, mostly through the American-French mechanism. But our mission is very clear as an army. When you see a terrorist that's trying to carry out an attack against your civilians, make sure he can't, make sure you eliminate him.
There have been reports that the Iranian diplomats sent out their families on a Russian jet from Lebanon. There are also reports that 4 Iranian diplomats were killed. Any comments on that?
Well, we do not target diplomats, but we have told the Iranian regime they have what they call the Quds forces, the Jerusalem force, a force with the entire purpose of annihilating the state of Israel. And we eliminate those commanders that are in charge between connecting Iran and Hezbollah. And we told them, if you stay in Lebanon, we will target those Iranian terrorists. And that's what we're doing.
All right, let's just take a look at some of the latest visuals coming in this morning from this escalating crisis. Drones have targeted the Iraqi Kurdistan region. Following the attack, smoke was seen rising from the area of the airport in Erbil. One intercepted drone fell near a hotel and a venue for high-level political meetings, as you can see through these visuals coming in from Iraq. Israel claims to have struck 10 headquarters of Iran in the Dahiyeh area within 30 minutes. Israel claims to have begun a wide-scale wave of strikes targeting terror infrastructure belonging to the Hezbollah terrorist organization across Lebanon. A missile launched by Hezbollah was seen over the Haifa area of Israel in these visuals. One rocket hit a house near the town of Carmel, causing minor injuries to 2 people. The Israeli military has said it's responded with a large wave of strikes targeting Hezbollah. The video that you are now seeing is released by the US CENTCOM. It shows how it has bombed an Iranian aircraft. The United States claims the Iranian regime is losing air capability day by day. Meanwhile, explosions were seen in Beirut's skyline after multiple simultaneously Israeli strikes. Plumes of smoke could be seen rising, and at least one building was set ablaze. Just take a look. Shipping activities through the Strait of Hormuz have been disrupted by the US-Israel-Iran war since the 28th of last month. In fact, shipping vessels were seen lining up off the coast of Ras Al Khaimah in the United Arab Emirates. This after Iran has effectively stopped cargo traffic in the narrow strait. Iran launched a barrage of missiles aimed at Tel Aviv. Air raid sirens were heard across the city as Israel's air defense systems were activated to intercept these incoming missiles. A missile fired by Hezbollah has struck an Israeli radar installation. The attack is believed to have targeted a strategic surveillance site that was used for early warning systems. Meanwhile, the Israeli military says it has carried out a precision strike on an Iranian UAV launch squad. According to the Israel Defense Forces, the group was preparing to deploy drones towards Israeli territory. Meanwhile, large crowds gathered in Iran to attend the funeral of senior military commanders killed in this Middle East war. Visuals coming in show thousands of mourners taking part in the procession as leaders vowed retaliation. On that note, we're slipping into a very quick break. We're back in a moment with the latest updates for you.
NDTV is the only network that has reached the Israel-Lebanon border.
Right now I'm in Inqilab Square and people are pledged allegiance to the new leader.
Everybody is waiting for Mujtaba to appear at least on state television to deliver a speech statement.
Currently, I'm reporting from Dubai. The update about potential missile threats, and we are being asked to seek a safer place.
Hello, Moto. Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
Oil facilities are under attack. Iran targets 2 oil tankers at the Iraq port. Reports say one of the 2 tankers was a US tanker. Another oil energy facility is hit in Oman, and the Gulf is condemning these attacks. As the US-Israel war with Iran rages on, Donald Trump claims the United States has won the war, saying Tehran didn't expect anything like this. Israeli warplanes have bombarded Beirut's southern suburbs and southern Lebanon as Israel vows to crush Hezbollah. India has condemned the attack on a Thai flag cargo vessel bound for Gujarat's Kandla port after it was struck in the Strait of Hormuz, triggering a fire and forcing a rescue operation for most of the crew.
Front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
So many attacks.
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break, live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने आईएनएस विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice. The latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
First India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go, grab your tickets.
West Asia at war. Netanyahu thanks Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth.
Israel opposition leader Yair Lapid speaks to NDTV.
Is there gonna be an Iranian Gandhi who will free his own people from oppression? So it's up to them.
Israel Foreign Minister Gideon Saar on NDTV.
Israel and US going to leave Iran in a complete chaos? Do you think that there will be a civilian leader who could take over?
Not Israel and not the US will decide who will lead the Iranian people.
The voices that matter speak first and exclusive to NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Welcome back. Well, now let's shift our focus to a big political conversation that could help shape the narrative ahead of Kerala's next electoral battle. NDTV is bringing together some of the state's most influential voices for NDTV Keralam Power Play. Our conclave will see Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan headline the discussions alongside key political leaders, policymakers and influential voices from across the state. Here's what you can expect.
Kerala is at a political crossroads. Development or discontent, continuity or change. Where is the ground shifting? What will drive the ballot? Keralam's sharpest political mind. Take it on. Power Play Keralam, 12th March on the NDTV network.
My colleague Ashwin is with us this morning to set the scene for us. Ashwin, take us through the political turnout, the entire lineup we're expecting through the day.
Parmeshwar, very good morning. In fact, right now I am at the venue. In a few minutes from now, the Power Play Conclave is all set to begin, where the top voices of the state of Kerala will be there. A special time when, just ahead of an election, which will decide the landscape of Kerala's politics, this is a conclave that is going to capture every single nuances of every single political ideology that is going to be represented in the upcoming election. Certainly, the preparations are in full swing. The stage is all set, and we can expect, Parameshwar, a lot of the big politicians over here to be speaking on what they represent, what is it that they are offering to the people of the state. And certainly, elections in Kerala is never dull, Parameshwar, and certainly that is what makes it even more interesting.
As we head towards Kerala's assembly elections, take us through the themes that are already emerging as the big electoral battlegrounds.
Well, we have a cascading through multiple themes. In fact, we have the faith as a theme. There is a discussion on Sabrimala. There is also a big discussion on what is the role of the Muslim League that is going to be playing. In fact, the Muslim League leader, P.K. Kunjalikutti, will be there. Not just that, what is the stance of the BJP? BJP is resurging in Kerala. What is the stance that the BJP is taking? What is it that they offer to the people of Kerala? Rajiv Chandrasekhar will be speaking. The top leaders of the Congress party, in fact, Ramesh Chennithila will be there, and certainly the preparations are in full swing. And as you can see, I just want to show what is the preparation that is going on. It's a grand stage, a spectacular stage. Every emotion, every crevices of the face, every single emotion of the politician will be ebbed through multiple cameras, which will be showing to our viewers what is it that they can expect. And certainly it is a very close take on what the politicians of Kerala are going to be talking about. What is it that they're going to offer to the people, and what is the promise that they're going to keep. And certainly ahead of an election, this is certainly a very powerful time, a powerful conclave that is going to happen, which will bring to our viewers what is it that the state of Kerala will be facing in the elections that are due in a few weeks from now.
Of course, Ashwin, comes at a crucial political moment, right? Kerala is entering a phase where governance debates are colliding with ideological battles. There are questions around development, there are questions around welfare delivery, economic growth, also political strategy. Are these beginning to define the road in the run-up to these elections? What is really going on?
Absolutely, Parameshwar. The chief guest of the power play conclave is in fact the Chief Minister of Kerala himself. He is somebody, Pinarayi Vijayan, who has broken all the records, broken history, has come for the second term in a state like Kerala, where historically there has been a consecutive UDF and the LDF. But changing that, this is the first time there's a second term of Pinarayi Vijayan that has happened, and that is going to be concluded. Certainly, a continuity of the government, will it happen in or will it lead to a change in the government is something that the entire country is looking forward to. And when Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan will be on the stage today speaking to us, he will be also giving out what is his power play, what is it that he is going to be offering. At the same time, taking on him, we'll be seeing the top leaders of the Congress party on saying what is their alternative. Congress party has been weak, and it was a big jolt for them that they couldn't come to power in the 2021 elections. So certainly, what is it that they are going to give, and the role that the Congress party is going to give will be talked about. And not just that, the BJP has got significant share in the voting. It is certainly around 17 to 19%, and if this 17 to 19% goes above 20, certainly there is a big radical change that could happen, and certainly the role of BJP will also be there, and all this will be talked about. What is the power play? What is the equation? What is the way this politician are looking forward to gain a victory ground? And certainly what the LDF is going to be doing, what the UDF is going to be doing, and what the NDA is going to be doing.
Let me just simplify for our viewers. If this conclave is meant to capture the political mood of the state, what is the one question everyone here seems to be asking about Kerala's future this morning?
Well, everything, what the Kerala's future, what people are asking is whether the continuity of a government, will it be good for the state or not, or the earlier model of an alternative government which comes between the Congress-led UDF and the CPM-led LDF. Will that change? That is a big question, and certainly it is refreshing because the third party, BJP, is also a big a factor that was earlier never there. In fact, in the last elections, even in the local body elections, if you look at the city-centric votes, the BJP had garnered 23%. So, if the urban population is going towards the BJP, will the BJP get around a few seats, which they predict? You know, it could be a one digit, it could be five seats, it could be something more. But if they do, then the entire political equation changes, and that is why this summit, this conclave, what the NDTV Power Play Conclave is all about, we will be bringing you a closer picture, a very comprehensive picture on what is going to happen in the state of Kerala in the upcoming elections. Parameshwar.
So much for taking us through what to expect today. We're, of course, going to revert to you for regular updates. Let's turn our attention to breaking news coming in at this point. Well, a legal complaint has now been filed against Indian cricketer Hardik Pandya over a photograph that was taken during the recent celebrations. A complaint has actually been filed against Hardik Pandya for lying down with his girlfriend with our flag. An advocate has lodged a complaint with the Pune police seeking registration of an FIR against Hardik Pandya for allegedly insulting our national flag during the T20 World Cup victory celebrations at a stadium in Ahmedabad. A Shivaji Nagar police station officer has confirmed that the complaint application was submitted by advocate Wajid Khan. Speaking of Wajid Khan, we actually have a reaction from him lined up for you at the moment. Listen in.
T20 वर्ल्ड कप आपने देखा होगा, तो उसका जीत का जो जश्न था, वो जश्न के अंदर हार्दिक पांड्या अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ एक जगह डांस कर रहे थे पूरी तरह, और नेशनल फ्लैग जो था उनके पीठ पे बंधा हुआ था, और नेशनल फ्लैग के साथ में वो उनकी गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ एक कोने में जाते हैं, स्टेज के कोने में जा रहे हैं, और वहाँ वो नेशनल फ्लैग पहन के लेटे हुए हैं, और वो भी अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ में उनसे बातें कर रहे हैं, वहाँ पे वो प्यार भरी बातें कर रहे हैं, और दोनों एक दूसरे के काफ़ी करीब थे। तो राष्ट्रीय अपना जो नेशनल फ्लैग है, नेशनल फ्लैग का 1971 का जो कानून है, उसके सेक्शन 2 के अनुसार ये बात गलत है कि जो नेशनल फ्लैग है उसकी गरिमा, उसकी प्रतिमा का जो आदर है, हमें वो रखना चाहिए।
Abhishek Awasthi is with us for more on this. Abhishek, take us through what exactly the complaint filed in Pune alleges against Hardik Pandya, and has an FIR been filed officially?
See, as of now, what we understand as a legal complaint at Shivajinagar police station in Pune, and the complaint is regarding how we have seen those visuals which have gone viral, wherein Hardik Pandya has seen wearing the national flag on his shoulder and roam around, and the complaint is exactly mentioning the fact that he was lying on the ground along with his girlfriend, and inappropriate things were done along with the national flag, and these questions have been raised in it, and accordingly strict action has been asked for, an FIR registration has been asked for. But at the same time, what we understand from the Pune police is that investigation in this complaint is currently underway. As of now, no process has been initiated of registration of FIR, but definitely an important issue has been raised by an advocate, Wajid Khan, who has pointed out that this kind of behavior by the cricketer is not acceptable, and necessary action needs to be taken into this. Back to you.
Abhishek, as always, thank you so much for joining us with the details you have at the moment. A complaint has been filed against Hardik Pandya. No official FIR registered yet. We'll, of course, track all the latest updates for you. On that note, we're slipping into a very quick break. We're back in a moment with the latest updates. Do stay tuned.
NDTV is the only network that has reached the Israel-Lebanon border.
Right now I'm in Galaba Square and people are pledged allegiance to the new leader.
Everybody is waiting for Mujtaba to appear at least on state television to deliver a speech, statement.
Currently, I'm reporting from Dubai. The update about potential missile threat, and we are being asked to seek a safer place.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
In Hyderabad, as the holy month of Ramzan begins, Hyderabad is filled with the aroma of Halim, a traditional dish prepared by Shah Ghus, a renowned eatery in the city. Throughout Ramzan, in fact, Old City becomes the ultimate destination for food lovers. With glittering lights, bustling crowds, and rows of food joints, the area transforms into a culinary hotspot.
Some moments in life are lifelong. Some memories are lifelong. Blessings are meant to be lifelong. Trust is also placed lifelong.
Heart lifelong, love lifelong, bond lifelong, memories lifelong.
True love is lifelong, isn't it?
Love lifelong, bond lifelong.
We respect our loved ones lifelong too, don't we? Some relationships stay shining lifelong. Just like Tata Power Solar Roof. Best quality solutions, lifelong service guarantee and unmatched expertise. Ye on the quality lifelong.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
को यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have.
Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC jabe, BJP asbe.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine sarkar ei lorai baste hobe.
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
In a month that moved markets, shifted diplomacy,
The entire world.
and stirred political battlegrounds, India chose its news carefully. NDTV India and NDTV 24/7, #1 on YouTube. NDTV Network, streaming India's trust, leading India's conversations.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV world exclusive to Aditya Raj call. Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Yo, मैं हूँ आपका अपना दिल्ली वाला. Yo, Honey Singer. I'm bringing the music, memories, madness back to my city, जहाँ मैं पैदा हुआ और अपनी जवानी बिताई. This is my story, retold song by song, creating night Delhi will never forget. My story with NDTV Good Time, live in Delhi. One night, no repeats. Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV Network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decision. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
First, India.
मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
It's 9 a.m. on a Thursday morning and you are watching NDTV 24/7. I am Parmeshwar Bava. We've got an action-packed bulletin lined up for you with news from across the country and around the world. Let's begin with the top headlines you need to know this morning. Oil facilities are under attack in the Gulf. Iran targets 2 oil tankers at the Iraq port. Reports say one of the 2 tankers was a US tanker. Another oil energy facility has been hit in Oman, and a fuel tank has been targeted in Bahrain as well. As the US-Israel war with Iran rages on, Donald Trump claims the United States has won the war, saying Tehran didn't expect anything like this. Israeli warplanes have bombarded Beirut's southern suburbs in southern Lebanon as Israel vows to crush Hezbollah. India has condemned the attack on a Thai flag cargo vessel bound for Gujarat's Kandla port after it was struck in the Strait of Hormuz, triggering a fire and forcing a rescue operation for most of the crew. The government, meanwhile, has assured that India is not facing any fuel shortage despite growing volatility in global energy markets triggered by this ongoing war. This as crude oil prices surge again. And with days to go for assembly polls, NDTV Kerala Power Play brings together the biggest voices and political players on one stage. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan will headline the event. And from the governance roadmap to the ideological war, the road to elections begins only on NDTV. Well, it's day 13 of the Middle East war and matters are only escalating. There is growing concern about oil supply from the region, which has been disrupted. Even more concerning is the fact that oil tankers are being attacked across the region. Iraq has claimed that Iran attacked the Al-Faw port on the coast of Iraq, though Iran has denied the charge. There are reports of a US-owned tanker being attacked. Iraq has claimed that 1 person has been killed in the attack on oil tankers. In a separate incident, meanwhile, a fuel storage tanker in Oman's port of Salaleh has been attacked as Shahid drones struck an oil depot. The exact moment of the drone attack has been captured on camera as well, but Iran has denied involvement in this attack. Meanwhile, in Bahrain, a video has emerged which shows an attack on a fuel tanker at a Bahrain government facility, and that video shows a huge ball of fire in the facility. In fact, a huge fire remains. It continues to rage on, is what we're given to understand. Arjun Samar Mahindra tracking the latest for us.
I said, yeah, they're
First,
warships. I said,
the reaction coming in from the US president.
Angry at my people. I said, are they any good? Yeah, they're warships. I said, why the hell did we kill them? Why didn't we just capture them and use them in our Navy? They said they wouldn't have qualified for that. But I got a little upset with my people. I said, why do we have to knock them? And actually, one of my generals said, sir, it's a lot more fun doing it this way. But we knocked out 58 naval ships. We knocked out their Navy, okay? Let's put it that way. But they also knocked out the mine layers. They call them mine layers. They put mines in the water. Lovely job. Isn't that nice? Blow up ships. And we knocked out 31 of them.
Arjun tracking the latest for us. He joins us with all the latest developments currently. Arjun, 2 foreign oil tankers have been attacked in Iraq. Meanwhile, Kuwait, Qatar and the UAE and Saudi Arabia are said to be intercepting more Iranian missiles and drones?
countries. Recently, we also saw some more, in fact, should I say, oil depots being hit by Iranian missiles and drones. Now, very importantly, this comes just hours. All of these warnings, fresh warnings from the Arab countries, the Gulf states, come just hours after U.S. President Donald Trump, in that midterm rally in Kentucky, in fact, claimed victory. In short, he also referred how the U.S. destroyed Iranian Air Force, all its military installations. He also reiterated that the war is practically, for all reasons and purposes, over. It's very important to note here that even after Trump sort of tried to get an off-ramp from hostilities in the Kentucky midterm rally, Iran has hit back and has not actually allowed Trump even an hour of peace. Because as soon as Trump made that statement, we started getting new reports of not only attacks being mounted, but successful attacks being mounted. And it's very important to note here that if we just, go back a couple of weeks, since it's the 13th day, almost 2 weeks of the war, and we look at the first few days, the accuracy and the range of Iranian attacks is only growing by each and every passing day. This only signals, at least for now, that the conflict is far from over, as Donald Trump, in contrast to, in fact, what Donald Trump just claimed. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Arjun. This, as Donald Trump has suggested, that top US military officials preferred sinking Iranian ships to capturing them because it's more enjoyable for them, as he boasted that the US has already won the nearly 2-week-old war he started against Iran. Meanwhile, tensions are boiling over in the Strait of Hormuz, which is a strategic choke point linking the Persian Gulf to global markets. Amid the attacks, Tehran has threatened that if this entire war continues, oil prices could surge to $200 per barrel. Meanwhile, an India-bound vessel, Mayuri Nari, was struck in the Gulf waters, sparking a fire on board before rescue teams evacuated around 20 crew members. Our Ministry of External Affairs has strongly condemned the targeting of commercial shipping, calling for all parties to avoid attacks and warning that such incidents have already cost lives in previous strikes. But over the past 2 weeks, multiple tankers and cargo ships have been hit across the Gulf. The escalating attacks have effectively turned the Strait of Hormuz into one of the most volatile maritime flashpoints in the world. My colleague Vishnu Shom spoke to Captain Rajesh Ramkumar. Before we get you the reaction from the veteran Indian Navy submariner on the Hormuz situation, listen in to the other crucial reactions we've lined up for you.
نیروهای مسلح جمهوری اسلامی ایران به دلیل در دست داشتن ابتکار در تنگه هرمز نیازی به بستن آن تنگه ندارند و بسته شدن تنگه هرمز به دلیل شرایطی است که آمریکا و صهیونیست‌ها بر کشورهای جهان تحمیل کردند و البته پرقدرت تکرار می‌کنیم هرگز اجازه نمی‌دهیم حتی 1 لیتر نفت به نفع آمریکا و صهیونیست‌ها و شرکای آنها از تنگه هرمز عبور کند و هر شناوری که شناور و یا محموله نفتی آن برای آمریکا و رژیم صهیونیستی و شرکای متخاصم آنها باشد هدف مشروع ما خواهد بود.
First up, in the context of, for a broader audience, in the context of a limited strait, a choke, as it were, how dangerous are sea mines?
Extremely dangerous because they are relatively small, need to contain only very little explosive charge because of the kind of explosion which happens in shallow waters. And the very fact that mines can be laid by pretty much any craft. It can be laid by a helicopter, it could be in specialized helicopters, it could be laid by any craft, it could be laid by specialized mine-laying vessels, it could be laid by even a fishing boat. And you can imagine as the number of smaller craft actually transiting through the Strait of Hormuz, it'll be virtually impossible for anyone to actually keep a tab on almost all the crafts which are going back and forth in the Strait of Hormuz. And secondly, it is extremely difficult for anyone to detect mines because of the nature of the composition itself, and also because it's very small and the acoustics and the very shallow water which is there in Strait of Hormuz makes it extremely difficult to even detect. And what is most important is it's the ultimate kind of asymmetric warfare. Even telling the world that there could be mines there literally chokes off this vital strait.
How does one detect mines like this? How effective are minesweepers by and large in doing this? And then once they do detect mines, how do they get rid of them?
So usually mines are swept by very specialized, specifically designed mine sweeping crafts. They have specialized sonars, which are high detection, which are high frequency sonars, which could be hull mounted. They could have underwater drones, which are sweeping ahead of the ships, vessels. It could be having divers, which can actually go and check the location for additional mines. And it is so tedious that you can actually clear only a couple of or 3 or 5 mines a day in case you can find it. Because otherwise, to clear a complete channel like the Strait of Hormuz would take weeks. And remember, from the tanker war of the 1980s, there are still mines probably active in the Strait of Hormuz even now. So it brings to fact that it's so difficult to actually detect and then sweep it. How do you sweep? How do you recover the mines? If there are tethered mines, there are mechanical cutters which can cut it, and the mine floats to surface, and there's a way to destroy it. If there are influence mines, the drones can actually go ahead and then detect mines, and the divers can place charges and destroy it. But all in all, because of the sophistication of mines itself, it's extremely difficult even to defuse it. It is the ultimate test of your technology and the time on which you can remain on task. And considering the fact that the Strait of Hormuz is so narrow, and Iranians will definitely have a vantage from the shore or a position from which they can fire at the minesweeping vessels from the shore, makes it extremely dangerous.
Well, nearly 2 weeks after Donald Trump ordered military strikes intended to destabilize Iran's leadership, the war is proving far more complicated than the White House expected. Let's just take a look at the visuals coming in this morning, beginning with fire crews containing a blaze at the fuel storage tanks at Oman's port of Salalah amid this West Asia war. Iraq has held Iran responsible for this attack, though Iran has categorically denied the claims. Kuwait's foreign ministry has condemned the escalation and said that Iran's targeting of the port and the fuel tanks was a dangerous escalation that threatened global trade. Bahrain's Interior Ministry has released this video of a huge fire following Iranian attacks at a facility in the Muharrar Governorate northeast of the country's capital. You can see a huge blaze hitting a fuel tank with firefighters trying to extinguish it. These visuals are coming in from Bahrain. Meanwhile, drones targeted the Iraqi Kurdistan region. Following the attack, smoke was seen rising from the area of the airport in Erbil. One intercepted drone fell near a hotel, we're told, a venue for high-level political meetings. You see, by conventional military metrics, the United States and its partners retain overwhelming superiority. This video was released by the US CENTCOM. It shows how it has bombed an Iranian aircraft as the US claims the Iranian regime is losing air capability day by day. And Israel claims to have struck 10 headquarters of Iran in the Dahiyeh area within 30 minutes. Israel claims to have begun a wide-scale wave of strikes targeting terror infrastructure belonging to the Hezbollah terrorist organization across Lebanon. In these visuals, you can see a missile launched by Hezbollah. It was seen over the Haifa area in Israel. One rocket hit a house near the town of Carmel, causing minor injuries to 2 people, according to Israeli rescue services. The Israeli military, on the other hand, said it responded with a large wave of strikes targeting Hezbollah. Explosions were seen in Beirut's skyline after multiple simultaneous Israeli strikes, As you can see through these visuals, plumes of smoke were seen. at least one building was set ablaze. An Iranian drone hit a high-rise residential tower in Dubai. Fortunately, no injuries have been reported so far. Dubai authorities claim the small fire was soon brought under control and have confirmed that all residents are safe. Shipping activities through the Strait of Hormuz have been disrupted by the US-Israel-Iran war since the 28th of last month. In fact, shipping vessels were seen lining up off the coast of Ras Al Khaimah in the United Arab Emirates. This after Iran has effectively stopped cargo traffic in the narrow strait. Iran also launched a barrage of missiles aimed at Tel Aviv. Air raid sirens were heard across the city as Israel's air defense systems were activated to intercept these incoming missiles. A missile fired by Hezbollah has struck an Israeli radar installation. This attack is believed to have targeted a strategic surveillance site that was used for early warning systems. And a missile was fired by Hezbollah. That was earlier, but the Israeli military says it has carried out a precision strike on an Iranian UAV launch squad. And these are the visuals coming in. As per Israeli Defense Forces, the group was preparing to deploy drones towards Israeli territory. You are seeing large crowds gathering in Iran to attend the funeral of senior military commanders killed in this Middle East war. Visuals coming in show thousands of mourners taking part in this procession as leaders vowed retaliation. Well, tensions in West Asia are escalating sharply with fresh attacks and strong claims from both sides, raising fears of a wider regional confrontation. The US President Donald Trump says the US has effectively won its military campaign against Iran. He made this claim without any evidence, calling Operation Epic Fury a decisive success. Speaking at a rally in Kentucky, Donald Trump claimed Iran's air force was destroyed within hours of the first strikes, with radar and air defense systems badly damaged. He further added Iran's missile capability is down 90% and drone capacity is down by 85%. Trump also said the US Navy destroyed 58 Iranian Navy vessels, warning that the US will finish the job if Iran tries to rebuild. Iran, you must note, has also warned tech giants like Google, Microsoft, IBM, and Nvidia, and said that they could be legitimate targets across the Gulf. In fact, you must note that Iran's threats have sparked alarm in Dubai, where some US financial firms have advised staff to evacuate immediately. Here's what Donald Trump is saying meanwhile.
They are pretty much at the end of the line. Doesn't mean we're going to end it immediately, but they've got no Navy, they've got no Air Force, they've got no anti-air traffic, anything. They have no systems of control. We're just riding free range over that country. And now we're going to look very strongly at the Straits. The Straits are in great shape. We've knocked out all of their boats. They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape. The main thing is we have to win this. They win it quickly, but win it. And there are many people, I'm just watching some of the news. Most people say it's already been won. It's just a question of when. When do we stop? We don't want to let it regrow. And ideally would like to see somebody in there that knows what they're doing. In other words, they can build a country. Now, one other thing, we can hit sections of Tehran and other places that if you do it, it'll be almost impossible for them to rebuild their country. And we don't want that. but we could hit electric, we could take apart their electric capacity within 1 hour, and it would take them 25 years to rebuild it. So ideally, we're not going to be doing that. Force is gone, totally gone. That took the better part of about 3 hours. They no longer have radar. They don't have anti-aircraft equipment. They don't have anything. Their missiles are down 90%. Their drones are down 85%. We're blowing up the factories where they're made left and right.
I mean, for them it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought. But think of it, they had thousands of missiles, 7,000, 8,000 missiles. We got many of them before they got to launch. They have drones all over the place. We got many now. We're knocking out the drone plants, as you know, going fast.
Take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury. Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You know, you can only do. And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. But we won. But they gave me a list of names that, you know, sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names. And I'm like falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name. I like that name. They don't know what the hell hit them, right? They don't know what hit them. They got hit by the American military. They don't know. They say, what the hell is happening? They didn't expect anything like this.
President is saying. Meanwhile, Qatar's Prime Minister says the region is going through grave circumstances amid this escalating crisis and the war in West Asia. Listen in.
نجتمع اليوم والمنطقة تمر في ظروف عصيبة بأسباب التصعيد العسكري الذي أطالها وأطال دولة قطر واعتداءات المتكررة من إيران للأسف التي لم تستهدف فقط أهدافا عسكرية بل أهدافا مدنية غير مكترثة بالإضرار بقطر وبمقدرات شعبها. ولا يفوتني هنا أن نشيد بأداء القوات المسلحة القطرية والأجهزة الأمنية كافة على ما يقومون به للدفاع عن هذه الأرض وشعبها ويواصلون الليل بالنهار لأجل منحنا هذا الشعور بالأمن والأمان. كما أود أن أثني على دور كافة مؤسسات الدولة التي تعمل على توفير سبل الراحة لكل من يعيش على هذه الأرض.
Earlier, Aditya Raj Kaul spoke exclusively to Ravina Shamdasani, spokesperson of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights on the Iran war. The UNHRC spokesperson condemns the Minab school attack and in a message to Trump and Netanyahu calls for a ceasefire. Listen in.
The relentless war, could this have been avoided? A lot of civilians now suffering as well. It's not barely on the borders that we are talking about. It's warfare at land, at sea, and in the air as well.
Aditya, as you have witnessed yourself, this war has taken so many lives, caused so much damage, and this damage has resonated and reverberated well beyond the region. I mean, from the initial Israeli and US attacks on Iran, from attacks by Hezbollah into Israel, the pummeling of Lebanon by Israeli forces, but also the reverberating impact in terms of the economic consequences globally that have hit India, they've hit Bangladesh, Vietnam, Philippines, Africa, all across the continent. This war was entirely avoidable, and yet we find ourselves in the middle of a global catastrophe.
And how do you see the bombing that happened at an elementary school in Minab of Iran? 168 civilians dying, and most of them young girls in the age group of 7 to 16 that we are talking about. Of course, there are now political claims being made, some saying it is the United States, the US and Israel saying it's a misfired, Iranian missile. But the reality of the matter is that amidst this war, it is little children who have died, who could have been, going to school, who had beautiful families and lives ahead.
This is exactly it. We must not forget what often happens in wars like this is you have one horrific incident after
Interview is making waves, but Mr. Britas here will talk about politics first. Kerala elections 2026 is being defined in two words now. Tharoor, which is continuity, or Marum, which is change. How confident are you of the LDF coming to power despite not doing well in the local body polls and also in the Lok Sabha elections?
Yeah, first of all, with regard to the tagline you said, our new tagline is that Mattarundu LDF allade. Who else apart from LDF? That is the new slogan which we have raised. It obviously have the spirit of the state as such. Who else can lead Kerala to a different level? Because we are led Kerala in the path of development and also progress and welfare. So you don't need to look upon other players like BJP or Congress to guide Kerala. That is our new slogan. Now, what was your second question? I just forgot.
Continuity or change? Continuity or change after 2
Obviously.
And your performance, sir, in 2 Lok Sabha elections and local body polls.
Right. See, Kerala people are educated and aware of the nuances of politics. And one election is obviously different from other elections. Sure. 19, we had a Lok Sabha elections. We had a serious drubbing. And after that, we had 100 seats out of 140. See what happened between the Lok Sabha and Assembly elections. Just like that, we will be coming back to power. It would be the third consecutive victory of Left Front. We will be creating history. We have absolutely no doubt with regard to that. So you can be assured that when you have an interview session interface with the UDF leaders, how will it be in a Left Front government, which is 3?
The LDF already created history, and with 2 consecutive terms, it has overturned electoral history in Kerala. You don't think that a third term is like too big a thing for the electorate within Kerala to put you in for the third time for an electorate that otherwise keeps voting out who's in power?
If it is not a bigger thing in other states, how can it be a bigger thing in Kerala? In most of the North Indian states, I mean, one party is ruling for 3 consecutives or 4 consecutive or 5 consecutive. See, anybody who visits Kerala is impressed with the development that has happened there. See, drastic changes which have occurred on the Kerala's trajectory. So people do not want to go back to that era, which we call it a dark tunnel, when UDF was squabbling, fighting, infighting. We don't even know who is going to lead UDF. You have half a dozen chief ministers. I think you should invite all these 6 potential chief ministers to your studio and interview.
No, many of them are going to be at the Keralam conclave. So,
but can you accommodate all of them? I doubt so. I doubt so.
We actually thought there are 4. You've added 2 more to the list.
Yeah,
so
all right. I mean, 6, precisely 6, according to Congress leadership itself. And see, do you want to have a state to be pulled from one corner to another corner by these leaders? And even the coalition partners of UDF, do you think that Muslim League would be silent? We should also remember about the sordid episode of Muslim League negotiating, bargaining for additional berths, having a say in the administration. Complete sway. When leaders like Umman Chandi and AK Anthony had to say that we are under immense pressure. Do you want to have such an era of pressure politics from the coalition partners, pulls and push from their own leadership? And Kerala was lagging behind in all the indices. So I don't think an average Malayali would expect to have such a dark era to come back.
But so taking off from what Shiv said, voter fatigue is one thing. There's also a fatigue in the rank and file of any party, right? Fellow travelers of the left are telling, are posting on Facebook, and these include very famous names like Sachithanandan, Sarah Joseph, who are saying that if you love the left, don't vote for the CPM, because they are quoting the Bengal example that the left will rule uninterrupted for several years and then will get decimated and will never come back to power. I mean, I know that that argument might not really make sense to a lot of people, but this is also a concern that there could be voter fatigue, there could be rank and file depletion, and also disillusionment amongst many fellow travelers.
See, I don't deny the fact that many of those literary personalities have come up and said that why can't, left be in the opposition, because naturally it would help. But they're all creative people. We should appreciate their imagination. But real politics have got nothing to do with such literary flavor. And even those people have understood that in order to take Kerala to a second level, you need to have a leadership, that is left party's leadership. So I think even those people who talked about fatigue and the necessity of a change have understood the importance of left coming back to power. And moreover, it's not merely for the Kerala politics alone. See, it's for the national politics, the presence of left that is absolutely required to give a direction to the opposition, to have an ideological orientation for the politics. Apart from the power politics which you see in Delhi, you need to have a politics which should be from the side of the people. So the presence of left has importance beyond the boundaries of Kerala.
What has happened, to the UDF, Mr. Britas, since the last election? Your party, your coalition has coalesced around the figure of the very popular Chief Minister. The factionalism with the Congress party seems counterintuitive. After having created history by losing 2 consecutive elections, one would imagine that there would be the opposite effect. You'd learn your lessons, you'd have clarity of leadership, you'd go into this with your battle face on. Why, in your view, has that not happened? And the reason I ask that also is because you wear 2 hats. You are from Kerala, but you also sit here in Delhi, and you have that perspective.
See, Shiv, let me just tell that Congress leaders will not learn a lesson at all. Despite the 2 consecutive drubbing they have got, have you seen any let-up in the scramble for power and one-upmanship in Congress leadership? You haven't seen that. See, even the MPs, half a dozen member of parliaments in Lok Sabha want to contest assembly polls because they aspire to be ministers. See, can you imagine such a scenario in any other political party? See, despite they being in the opposition, they want to have an earnest battle to regain power in Kerala. You see the situation in Congress party. When I talked in terms of half a dozen chief ministerial aspirants, it's not out of my whims and fancy. It's the real politics which I am talking to. So the people of Kerala are watching this drama theatre of absurd, which is being played in Congress politics. So people will certainly understand that. Whereas in our bloc, in left front, there is clarity with regard to the direction it has to go. With regard to the leadership, we have no ambiguity, absolutely. We are clear on that, crystal clear how we have to tread ahead.
Right.
See, Rahul Gandhi came and made so many promises. Is it Rahul Gandhi who has to make promises in Kerala? I don't know what he has to do with that promises. He has announced the Congress manifesto well ahead of its release. And he's talking about those unfulfilled promises which his party made in Telangana.
Right.
So is that what people are trying to understand? What is it? They can easily decipher the fiction, reality, the drama, theatrics that is being played out by the Congress leaders.
Right.
Simple as that. That's what I said, the so-called fatigue which you try to, imbibe from Kerala when you travel, it doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
And moreover, see, when elections come around the corner, people will be much more realistic in their approach. What they have gained in the form of welfare politics of left and also the economic agenda of left.
Right.
See, the picture landscape of Kerala has changed completely. See, 10 years back, we didn't have proper national highway roads. Now there is a shining roads that are coming up. In the coastal belt, the national highway, the hill highway, the waterway. See, something like 3.5 lakh crore investment in basic infrastructure alone. This is what I'm saying. Can people be oblivious about that? Can people forget about the contribution of the left government?
But there's a confusion. Vasudha, I just want to ask a follow-up question on that, because you have the Gandhis who are, who have been representatives and are representatives from Kerala now. Priyanka is given how everyone perceives the Congress party, Mr. Britas, is that, if you've got the high command with skin in the game in Kerala, then you can be sure that some things will work right. There will not be so much factionalism. You have your own MP there from the Gandhi family. That, certain things you can take for granted will not happen, but it is those things that are happening.
I do agree with you, Shiv. The stakes of the Congress are very high. I don't doubt about the fact. They will pump in money from Karnataka and Telangana. Even Kerala newspapers are flooded with advertisement of the Telangana government. I don't know whether Kerala people are bothered about the Telangana development. This is how they channelize money to Kerala politics to change the narrative. And you also should appreciate the fact that we welcome anyone and everyone to Kerala. See, we have the most friendly migrant labor. We call them guest workers. And we have guest workers in politics also. The Gandhis are the guest workers in politics. We accommodate them also. So, but that doesn't mean that just because it will help them to bolster their image, it will help the Congress party to be a little more, stealth in their national politics. Kerala cannot forget those darker days. We cannot be, thrown to the era of confusion and rivalry and infighting which we witnessed always when the Congress used to come. See, the people of Kerala has become so aspirational.
Right.
We want to go ahead. So the question here is that whether you want to protect the image, so-called charisma of the Gandhi family, or you want to protect Kerala? That's a question now.
Right.
Simple as that.
Mr. Britas, you said that people of Kerala will not be bothered about what's happening in Telangana. The CM recently spoke about the bulldozing incidents in Telangana. And there is a sense that, that there is also a campaign rhetoric that the Sangh and the CPM are the same in Kerala. Now, this could be something that the UDF has started. And additionally, I do feel, with Nattis and Velapalli or NSS, the social groups may not have too much, impact on LDF per se, but there is a sense that LDF is trying to desperately hold on to the Hindu community vote. And in that attempt, there is also a sense that it may be alienating a little part of Muslim votes, for which the Chief Minister is also speaking, on the bulldozing incidents in Telangana.
See, there is a fake narrative that is being created by Congress party, but everyone knows that. Who compromises to the BJP politics? How many leaders Rahul Gandhi has contributed to BJP? Most of his lieutenants have left Congress and have enriched Modi, Amit Shah team. And even the vacillations that has happened with regard to the Congress politics, everybody knows that. Whereas left has been steadfast in its fight against BJP, ideologically and politically. See, I am one of the very few left MPs in Parliament. Have you heard any of the UDF MPs speaking against BJP and RSS and their politics? No, absolutely no. If they open their mouth, it would be against Kerala and the left parties. Their only agenda is to defame Kerala and the left front. They have no agenda whatsoever to take on the BJP. So the people of Kerala are seeing that. And your question with regard to Hindu, Muslim, see, Kerala politics is much beyond such very, I would say, very mundane arithmetic which you dole out. See, we are a party, we are a friend who have been enjoying something like 40% of the vote, cutting across communities, caste and religion. And north of Kerala, there is a sizable chunk of Muslim population. But if you see the assembly lineup, see, most of the MLAs belong to left front only. So these narratives, I think, maybe highway reporting would help you to take such indicators to bolster a copy or a reel.
But Mr. Britas, UDF guys tell us that there is never a raid on opposition leaders the left leaders in Kerala. No, that's not a narrative that makes sense. A lot of people.
I am from the Christian community. Am I not part of the CPM?
But they also say that there is a camaraderie between Pinarayi Vijay and Prime Minister Modi. They say that there's a certain hotline that exists. Do you, completely reject the fact that you have not been completely acrimonious with the centre as a lot of other opposition governments
See,
have?
For the development of Kerala, we will cooperate with the union government. The national highway expansion was held up. It was completely blocked or rather left by the UDF government. Only after Pinarayi took over, he came and met the minister and also the prime minister. It was kick-start again. Now it is completing, and now the other day, prime minister didn't accommodate the state representatives, whereas he held on to the BJP Prajaraks and leaders there. That's another thing. Anyway, politics would be there when elections are near. It would galore more. But having said that, apart from the cooperation, a state will have to extend to central government and the collaboration. See, politically, Pinarayi was one person who has been steadfast in attacking BJP and RSS politics. No other political leader which belong to Congress party. Now, Shashi Tharoor is your, I would say, the fanboy for the media. Think about the number of numerous statements he has made. And he's a CWC member. He sits along with Rahul Gandhi. I always felt that, see, he's made to make such statements. Otherwise, how can he make such statements which are helpful to Narendra Modi, either in national politics or international politics? And he continues to be a member of the CWC. And they say it's a democratic political party. But think for a moment, if somebody from the Congress party comes and participate in a seminar of the left front, they will be expelled. See, last month there was a tirade against Manishankar Iyer when he spoke about the development that has happened in Kerala, especially with regard to Panchayat.
And he's predicted a third term for you.
Third term, yeah, any sensible congressman will predict.
No, but your perception of the BJP, you've talked about, Vasudha has asked you about this hotline. This is something that, has been rumored for a very long time. Even the personal sort of equation between the chief minister and the prime minister. Realistically speaking, the BJP has outsized campaigns, even in places like Kerala and Tamil Nadu, where their footprint has traditionally been extremely small. Realistically speaking, how do you see the BJP's campaign and what they're trying to do in Kerala?
See,
the Prime Minister was also...
I understood. BJP is not a significant player in Kerala politics. Maybe in few pockets. And see, nowadays, electoral politics is dictated by 4 M's, according to me. Money power, muscle power, media power, and also management. Management means institutions like Election Commission. In these 4 M's, BJP must be leading. But in Kerala, they're unable to make a foothold. That's very visible. They must have got one seat or other from Kerala politics. And the rhetoric of Narendra Modi, I always say that. See, let us look at the Kerala's performance. What we need to learn from the North Indian states. Any of the social indicators, can it match with any of the North Indian state? I have been always telling about, say, take infant mortality. It's 5 out of 1,000 births. It's better than United States, whereas in your model state in Uttar Pradesh it is 37. In Gujarat it is much more. National average is 25. Take maternal mortality, it's 141 out of 1 lakh live births. In Uttar Pradesh, it's hardly 30. These are all data compiled by the Union Home Ministry. So where should we ape the BJP government? So Kerala has understood the rhetoric of the Prime Minister doesn't match with the reality of Kerala politics.
I want to come to the Kerala model, Vasudha, if you'll permit me, because the Kerala model is always something that has been projected, and it's being projected in this election as well, in terms of the development of Kerala, which you just mentioned. But there are issues of unemployment, Mr. Britas. There is a huge dependence on remittances from the Gulf. We are seeing what's happening there at this point of time. So my question to you, while we're on the topic of the Prime Minister and this government in the center, is how do you assess how this government has handled what is taking place in the Gulf right now?
I would say that there was some fatigue with regard to the so-called Kerala model. So we consciously took a decision that we will also make sure that on the economic front, Kerala has to go. See, as per the statistics given by the union government, in ease of doing business, Kerala is #1. We used to be 18th or 19th in the ladder. Investment that has come to Kerala, and the investment which has happened to the basic infrastructure which I talked about, something like 3.5 lakh crore. And on the welfare, of course, we retained that flagship of our welfare model. So we have combined both this economic model, the resurgence which we need to have in the economic front, and also retaining the welfare politics. Having said about the unemployment, we have data and statistics. Does any other North Indian states have such data? You just think about the COVID that's happened. As per the registrar of union government, it's 10 times more than what has actually been reported.
Right.
In Kerala, we have statistics. And moreover, Shiv, we are not apologetic about the social capital which we have. The education, the awareness, the investment in health has helped the people to, go on to get employment elsewhere in skilled or semi-skilled categories. And we are proud of that. We are not, we don't have any conviction with regard to people going out of Kerala. We used to go. Even earlier times, decades back, we used to go to Colombo, Malaysia, Singapore. So the migration of the youngsters, naturally it's a byproduct of the education investment we have done in social sectors. See, last year we must have got something like 2 lakh crore foreign remittance. Must be higher than any other states. Compared to the population, it will be much higher. We are proud of that. They are contributors. 30% of the GDP also should be coming from the foreign remittance. We are happy about that. It's part of the state building. So why should we, rue about the fact that we have invested hugely in the social sector and that is helping us to get this remittance. It's a plus point for Kerala. The only aspect which we missed earlier was that we couldn't use this foreign remittance for schemes, projects, programs, which would be productive. Now we have channelized this money to make sure that it's part of the economic development agenda and the stream.
Mr. Britas, you're seen as somebody quite close to the Chief Minister, and I was in Kerala for the last few days. And
are you sure about that? Is it part of the gossip?
I can tell you who the sources are, but
I'll tell you the sources of the media. It's a fake one. I've never relied and believed these so-called sources.
Vasudha speaks to all the correct people, sir. No sources.
And on both sides, you know that.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Britas, there are 3 narratives that I heard. Okay, one, basically, when I speak to the SFI guys also, they say, Penarize is there, he will take care, okay? And
of what?
Of the elections,
the
elections, we are coming back to power because Pinarayi Vijayan is going to, get us back to power again. There is also a sense that the burden of anti-incumbency is on one man. One man who has already had 2 terms, he has had a rollicking career, politically, professionally. And then, of course, there's this other narrative that he's the one who's making all decisions. The ministers, in some ways are not, I wouldn't say empowered, but it is Pinarayi Vijayan, the chief minister, the center, the core of your government, your party in Kerala. Do you think that's going to be a disadvantage or you think it's going to be an advantage?
First of all, I can tell you that many of the crucial decisions, our party may be having one view, another coalition partner may have a different view, and we had, of course, a consensus on these issues. We, didn't hold on to the view of our party. So, don't you think that is the best way of functioning? I think, Vasudha, you think that the structure that is prevalent in Delhi also is existing in Kerala. Absolutely wrong. It's a coalition government. Why the coalition in Kerala is successful? Because you accommodate the views of others. And I don't think you will have any other leader in the country who would be taking maximum meetings with his party colleagues and with the colleagues from the coalition friends. So this is the way in which we function. But just to create a fake narrative, you can come that he is also following the same model as that of his happening in Delhi. Absolutely wrong. And do you think that the coalition will survive if somebody will take such calls like that? No. And you're correct. He's one of the tallest politicians in the country. Decades of experience. Compared to him, many of those people on the opposite spectrum are pygmies, though they don't realize that.
And so this question of left after Pinarayi Vijayan is also a big question. As somebody who's academically oriented, you're from JNU, tell us what is this defeat? You talked about the stakes of the Congress party. The left stakes are also very high in this, right? So what happens to the left in future, 10 years down the line? Where do you see the CPM in Kerala?
See, I'm a student of social science. I always believe in the fact that, leaders just rise. After EMS, who will be there? After EK Nayanar, who will be there? After V.S. Satchidanandan, who will be there? That was a media narrative. People just rise from the ranks. And we have numerous young, youthful leaders in the party. So, media can be a little concerned about such topics, but we are not concerned. If my party, my leadership is not concerned, I don't know why, Vasudha, you should be concerned about that.
Okay, let's come. Since we were talking about coalitions, let's come to the India Alliance, Mr. Britas. the contradiction is there, as far as the Congress is concerned. That has been addressed. These things happen in politics. But there is this whole debate that's been going on over who should lead the opposition umbrella. And there are rising calls for a change in leadership, that Rahul Gandhi should make way for others. Names like Mamta Banerjee, M.K. Stalin, others have also come up. What is your view of that? How do you think the India alliance has been run so far?
Honestly, Shiv, we are not obsessed with A leader or a B leader or C leader. We are more concerned about the policy of the opposition. What should be the political strategy and the stand it should take. We are also concerned about the lack of coherence in India alliance. And we also feel that the Congress leadership has not been graceful enough to accommodate other coalition partners. We also complained about the way in which the opposition leader has been behaving when he comes to Kerala. We have all those differences. And if you talk in terms of the gratitude in politics, we would say that Congress has never shown that reciprocity of gratitude to left parties. Because we are one party. See, after defeating Congress, our 62 MPs wholeheartedly extended their support to form a UPA government headed by the Congress just to keep BJP away. We have shown that gesture, which no other political party in India has shown. And we have not even taken a gas connection. Gas cylinder is very costly nowadays. That's why I'm bringing this analogy of
I'm going to bring you back to the Gulf after this.
So that's what I'm saying. So think about a political party relentlessly fighting the BJP and provided our wholehearted support to Congress party to form a government. We supported them. Do you think that Congress party has returned any favor to left party? We don't need to have any favor from Congress party. But they should be graceful, at least at the highest leadership, when they deal with the coalition partners.
You also, pointed to Rahul Gandhi's low attendance in the parliament. I remember when you were speaking in Manrega debate also. You've been quite, the battle between you and Rahul Gandhi has been quite contentious. Is it only till the elections in Kerala, or do you think that this is going to go on for some time?
Arey Vasudha, he is a big leader, tall leader, humongous leader. I am just a pebble. But having said that, I have complained just recently also when he talked something against CPM and against our chief minister. That was not appropriate to the position which he holds on to. He castigating left friend and I asked also.
So he asked for the arrest of the chief minister in the Sabrimala case.
We are amused by the fact that Rahul Gandhi, who is also embroiled, as a family, not only his brother-in-law, embroiled in numerous ED cases, he is coming to Kerala and asking why our chief minister is not arrested. And he cannot say what is, maybe he is doling out a script from K.C. Venugopal. Of course, let him read it out. But I never, talked about his membership or rather, attendance in parliament. The only issue which I brought up was his absence during last session when the crucial Manrega was demolished in the wee hours when it was bulldozed, G. Ramji came. So I felt that the opposition leader's presence would have been much more helpful for the opposition team to fight that in the parliament and outside. That was a concern, maybe positive towards Rahul Gandhi, right? It was a concern positive to us.
Do you see a difference between Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi?
I don't see.
Give us your report card of both of them, your perception of both of them. See, and you can't sit and say that you're a small leader and you cannot comment on them.
Thing. I would be, very uncharitable to me and to them also if I give a progress card to us. I can say only that Kerala has been gracious to guest workers, where in politics or in other works.
That's a dig. You're calling them guest workers like they've parachuted down to Kerala.
Of course. Wow. Otherwise, what Priyanka has to do with Kerala politics? Only because she's part of the dynasty, she has come there. Otherwise, can you imagine about any other leader contesting from Wayanad if they were not part of that family? And how come Rahul Gandhi came there? He came in the protest of fighting BJP. Is Kerala the terrain, the trajectory where he has to fight and take on the BJP? BJP is not there. It's not a significant player. So it was a fake narrative which he created. And after he left Wayanad, he brought in his sister. Everybody knows that. So I have no compunction in saying that. though he is my opposition leader.
Mr. Britas, you're very good at making predictions. We saw what happened with Sanju Samson after the interview that you did with him 10 years ago. It's become viral now. But help us understand, what is your prediction of who will become the Chief Minister if UDF wins?
UDF wins. First of all, UDF will not win. So my prediction will be that left will win again, and UDF leaders can go back to their gallery. The 6 chief ministerial candidates of UDF can go back to their gallery. And one of the leaders has said that he will go for Vanavas. So the only decision to be taken that which Vanam, that which forest he would pick it up. So if we can help him identifying a forest for his Vanavas, that would be helpful.
Who would you like to interview now among the cricketers? If you could do another viral interview like the one that you did 10 years ago.
Shiv, I would certainly revisit doing an interview with Sanju Samson, because I had a very lengthy interview, not only with him, with his wife also. He was newly married at that time. So the 10 years which he has travelled, see peaks and lows, I really need to talk to him again. And I hope that he would be happy to sit in front of me.
No, absolutely. But have you reached out to him? It would be lovely, given how viral your 10-year-old interview with Sanju is right now.
You have put me in the studio. I don't have a time to go. At least I need to decode myself.
No, Vasudha and I are going to make this happen now.
Yes.
Yeah.
On NDTV, we're going to invite you and Sanju Samson, and we're going to recreate what happened 10 years ago.
Absolutely. It would be fantastic.
Then and now.
And I'm telling you, a lot of non-Malayalis have reached out to me saying that, why don't you interview Sanju once more?
Yeah.
And Derek, everyone was telling me that, look, I just released the interview. And I said, how could you understand Malayalam? No, with subtitles, and I could, with your movements and the gestures and postures, I could absolutely understand what you were trying to say, and he was saying that. So I'd be happy to be a guest, or rather a host for Sanju Samson in NDTV studio.
Mr. Britas, you have
but
to
you should pay me low.
Guest host. Guest host.
Yeah,
guest
okay.
worker.
All right. Yeah.
Mr. Britas, you have to also run to the parliament.
A guest worker.
Yeah.
Again, the guest worker.
Yeah.
So you have to also run to the parliament today. What is your expectation? Yes, yesterday the Home Minister spoke quite fiercely, and today do you expect the parliament to run? Do you expect the acrimony at some point to also end between the opposition and the treasury benches?
I personally feel that the parliament has to function. Protests are naturally part of the parliamentary discourse. As Arun Jaitley said, that even disruption of the parliament is a parliamentary practice. I believe in that. But protracted protest disruptions will not help the opposition or the nation. That is my personal view, which I have been always putting across. And I feel that the parliament has to function, because there are plethora of issues on which we need to take on the government. See, the basic problem with the parliament is that the primary responsibility of the parliament to hold executive accountable to the parliament, that is not happening. Whether it is on the question front or whether it is on the debate front. So we need to be much more vigilant and also active to ensure that the basic premise of the parliamentary democracy, that is accountability of the executive of the parliament, needs to be pinned.
So the hard questions are not being asked. The government gets off the hook on issues like you said, accountability is not being fixed. And the only thing the public has now come to expect, Mr. Britas, from Parliament is shouting and sloganeering and protest.
I would have
This goes beyond the ethic of disruption which Arun Jaitley was talking about.
I have a different view on that. See, when I say the parliamentary discourse has plummeted, I recollect those days in the late 80s when I used to cover parliament. I'm talking about 35, 38 years back. The standard of the parliament discourse at that time. But now there is a conscious effort from the part of the government also to just abdicate their responsibility. I can tell you one small example. Numerous questions are being disallowed on one pretext, one technical ground. I can see, when I asked what could be the estimate of the new parliament building, they gave a figure of 1,000 crores. And after the completion of the new parliament building, which I don't think it's a parliament building, it's some sort of a Lulu mall. Okay, that's what I feel always when I get in the parliament house. I asked what could be the actual cost or the expenditure for the construction. They said, secret. What is the secret about the cost of This is how, see, the quality of parliamentary debates and discourse have plummeted. I feel that government is responsible for that. The primary responsibility of running the parliament rests with the government.
Thank you, Mr. Britas, one of the most recognizable, articulate faces of the left here. Thank you so much, and we're not going to stop you from attending the parliament that you're so passionate about. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I hope that you will be asking ruthless questions to the guests, honorable guests who are following me also, including Mr. Shashi Tharoor.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We begin the 10 a.m. bulletin with breaking news. There's some crucial movement on the maritime front in the Gulf this morning, and it directly affects India's energy lifeline. Sources are now telling NDTV that Iran has agreed to allow India-flagged oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz following high-level diplomatic engagement. That's the latest we're tracking on NDTV at the moment. The understanding, we're told, was reached after talks between our External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar and Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Iraqi. You must note, our sources are adding, at least 2 Indian tankers, Pushpak and Parimal, have already been reported moving safely through the strait, even as several vessels linked to the United States, Europe and Israel continue to face restrictions amid the ongoing war. My colleague Akhilesh has sent us all these details. He joins us with the clarity that we need. Akhilesh, walk us through what we know about this understanding between India and Iran. What exactly has Tehran agreed to regarding Indian-flagged vessels in the Strait of Hormuz?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sir, if you could just break down for us what we know about this understanding between India and Iran, and what exactly has Tehran agreed to regarding Indian-flagged vessels in the Strait of Hormuz? All right, we seem to be having some trouble connecting with my colleague Akhilesh, but I must inform you the latest we're tracking on NDTV. Sources are telling NDTV that Iran has agreed to allow India-flagged oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz following high-level diplomatic engagement. On that note, let's cut across to NDTV's Keralam Power Play, where Dr. Shashi Tharoor is currently addressing the audience. Listen in.
Went through great extent, great expense, and great trouble to find a way to get there to celebrate the moment with me. And I'll always cherish this for whatever years that remain.
And you've been so graceful to have selfies with everybody who came to wish you. So I think the internet, Twitter was flooded with selfies with Dr. Tharoor.
That's possibly true, but part of the crime is that, part of the complication is that along with the selfies came some viral fever that I promptly started enduring from the next day. So I'm battling cough, cold, blocked nose. Forgive me if I start infecting you both on the NDTV.
But it's good to see you back on your feet, Dr. Tharoor, because the last time you were on an NDTV stage, you were in your wheelchair.
I was in a wheelchair.
It's very nice to see you back on your feet.
2 weeks in a wheelchair, 2.5 weeks walking about in a cast, and now no cast either. So I'm suddenly feeling relatively normal, but viral fever. I'm hoping that all of this, one thing after another, will get over before the Kerala campaign really intensifies.
Yes. And that's our cue to get into the Kerala campaign now. It's been an interesting ride to this point, Dr. Tharoor. You know, many things have been said about what Shashi Tharoor represents as far as the Kerala election is concerned. Can you define that for us? Everything has been said, from Shashi Tharoor wants to be chief minister, to him being, a loyal soldier of the party, to him being a dissident, to him having one foot out the door. All of these things have been said. What is Shashi Tharoor in this Kerala election?
I'm first of all co-chair of the campaign committee, which means I will have to campaign all throughout the state. I'm not a candidate in any constituency, so that gives me the freedom to campaign for everyone. So that really, I believe, should help in terms of my contributions. I've done this before. each of the last 3 elections since I've been an MP, I've been a campaigner. And last time around, I'm proud to say I managed to hit 56 constituencies and speak for candidates, probably more than 60 candidates, because some halts, there were 3 or 4 candidates I spoke for simultaneously. But having said all of that, the other thing that I hope I represent in Kerala is Kerala's historic connection to the global world. See, what we forget, it's not just about Gulf migration since the 1970s or 80s. It is actually about the fact that for 3,000 years, Kerala has been open to the rest of the world. We've had trade with what's today known as the Arab Peninsula, and going right back to before Christ. The very first travelers from the Judaic world came to us. When the Babylonians destroyed their first temple, they came to Kerala and sought refuge. When the Romans destroyed their second temple, they came. Islam came to us not by the sword, as some people in the north claim to have historical memory of, but for us peacefully by people whom we had seen for 1,000 years, coming when the winds were favorable, settling in Kerala, marrying locally, having children, all of that, going back when the winds changed, coming back every year. This continuity of contact with the Arab world, they brought, say, hey, you know what's happening in our peninsula? There's a prophet who's saying all this. And one of our kings actually led a flotilla of ships to the Gulf in order to meet the prophet. And legend has it that he did. Now, that's our attitude. Judaism, Islam, Christianity, St. Thomas, Doubting Thomas, the famous apostle, landed up on the shores of Kerala. And he converted many of the highborn Keralites to Christianity. So we've got this tradition of acceptance and openness. My question is, why don't we learn more from the West? Instead of bemoaning the fact that we're not like Maharashtra or we're not like Tamil Nadu and we can't have big industries and so on, we should say, what can we learn from Estonia? What can we learn from Iceland? What can we learn from the Netherlands? And we can learn from each of these, as I've been writing in my articles. We now need to really double down on our international collaboration. And part of my vision is I'm not into, because I don't spend much time in local politics, I don't spend a lot of time attacking the government, or the government's failures are colossal. I am concerned from a global vision of Kerala being stuck between the cultural majoritarianism of the right and the economic obsolescence of the left. We need a vision that is both global and liberal, that is anchored in our long history and civilization without a shred of bigotry, that promotes communal harmony and social justice, while for the first time being truly welcoming to investors. So I have proposed, and I believe my party has accepted my proposal, that we should have an Investor Protection Act. Too many business people have been scared away by the red flags of the left who have been ruling disastrously for 10 years. What we need is businesses to feel that if they come to Kerala, their money will be safe from, not from market losses, that's their problem, but from bureaucratic, political, trade union agitation. We must now make it safe for businesses to come. We have to be a welcoming state, and then we have to move into cutting-edge 21st century technologies. Biotechnology, obvious area for us. Biogenetics, we have an astonishing genetic pool because of these 3,000 years of ups and downs. Get the private sector in, let them come in and invest. We have to actually monetize the value of the data we possess. In our flora and fauna, in our human genetic pool, in our illnesses, we have the best healthcare system in India. I want Kerala to be the healthcare capital of India. Right. We're going to be the first state that's aging, which will have an aging population ahead of all of you guys. What I want to do is to say, let us be the Indian leader in gerontocratic research, wellness, old age homes. We've got beautiful highlands. Create retirement villages that will attract people from around India and maybe around the world. Change our higher education. I've been arguing this for years now, but of course we haven't been in power. If we come to power, I will be a very strong voice for a truly international sensibility. Malayalis are just disappearing to other states. Our greatest export in Kerala is our people. What a shame, what a loss, what a waste. If we can keep our people, give them opportunities, give them world-class education that is flexible, that is integrated with the marketplace, that is ready to respond to the needs of the marketplace, we would be a new Kerala. So Kerala 2.0 is what I want to offer to the political debate.
Dr. Tharoor, the UDF has been in the opposition for 10 years. And 10 years is a long time. You've won local body polls, you've won 2 Lok Sabha elections, but it still looks like a contest. Otherwise, it would have just remained it would have been a battle for the UDF to win, but it still looks like a contest to us. Why is that happening?
Tighter than it should have been.
Yeah.
Well, the polls are suggesting it's tight, or some polls are. But, don't forget that the LDF government has a very sophisticated and well-financed PR machinery. I think that the argument would only be valid if our only message was anti-incumbency. It's not. As I've been just saying, what we have is a positive message, a vision of the future. One of the things I've been saying in all my campaign speeches so far, even though the campaign has barely got off the ground, has been that we represent a new vision for Kerala, a new hope for the future, and we are here to fight for a better Kerala. That message, to my mind, is going to appeal over and above the anti-incumbency factor. So as the campaign gets underway, we still don't know what the dates are. The Election Commission hasn't announced them. Assuming we have the whole of April to campaign, which is what I assume, we will inspire voters to say we want a positive change. It's the positive message that we want to give.
What about the speaker before you, Dr. Tharoor, had obviously expectedly talked a lot about the factionalism in the UDF and the Congress. Can you talk about that? Because that hasn't been a figment of someone's imagination. There are a lot of shouting voices, and the argument that this is a democratic, setup and everyone has voices and ambitions only goes so far to explain that.
Now listen, one man's factionalism is another man's vibrant democracy. The one big difference between us and the left is that we are a party where a wide range of views is tolerated. I am myself supposed to be guilty of having challenged authority in the party. But when it comes, for example, to election unity, when it comes to parliamentary performance, when it comes to following the party whip, all of these, we're all 100% disciplined. But until that crunch moment, we have the right to express our views freely and frankly. And I think that is actually a sign of a vibrant democratic impulse in the party. This, I think, is all the more necessary in a current in which heresies and dissent and so on are disapproved of everywhere, in every party, not just ours. I think having a party which has room for different kinds of expressions is valuable. But having said that, Rahul Gandhi was right when he said in Thiruvananthapuram in my presence, he said, all of you dance well, but you must dance together. And I thought that was a great metaphor. Kerala has lots of dances, individual dances, group dances, the works. But when we dance together, we will really shake the stage.
But are you dancing together?
So far, yes, and I think it'll tighten up even further as we get closer. Look, I think I would say in the course of this calendar year, there have been no major issues of disturbance and difference. And what I've been seeing, for example, our leader of the opposition led a yatra from the northernmost tip of the state right down to the southernmost, which is my constituency. And many of us attended different portions of it. I inaugurated the session in Kottayam, others in different places. And what you saw was every significant Kerala leader was not only present but supportive and strongly on message. So I would say that when it comes to the elections, if the left is hoping that we're going to be a disunited house and that's how they're going to squeak through yet again, they've got another thing coming.
Dr. Tharoor, recently we interviewed Ramesh Shenitala and also V.D. Satishan, and there was one answer that was similar in both their interviews. They said Dr. Tharoor is a valuable asset and he's going to be campaigning in every constituency. Both of them said the same thing. So, and also you were part of the Pudu Yuga Yatra as well. Help us understand what is the relationship that you have with all of these people? Do you get along well with all of these people? And also, what really changed? Did that meeting with Mr. Kharge and Rahul Gandhi sort of make those changes in your own view of the Congress party?
That was about national issues. It was principally about the unfortunate sort of gap that emerged between us over Operation Sindoor and the aftermath. And the air needed to be cleared. It was cleared. We're on the same page. We're moving on. But as far as Kerala is concerned, that was not so much an issue. As far as Kerala is concerned, you see, I've been in a slightly odd position in the sense that I did come in without, unlike all my peers, without having risen through the Kerala Students' Union, through the Youth Congress, through the lower levels into Parliament. I came in having had a very different career. My student politics was in Delhi at St. Stephen's College. My further education was abroad. My career was in the UN. I come in at 51 and suddenly these folks are confronted with a new figure. There was obviously some mutual adjustment difficulties, me to their style, perhaps they to my presence. I mean, so some tensions were there which were widely reported. I don't need to talk about that. I think over the course of 4 elections that I have won on the Congress banner, I hope I have earned their respect. But what is perhaps equally important is that I found a place in the hearts of a large chunk of the Kerala electorate. I won 4 difficult elections, 2 by record majorities. I have won support and goodwill right across the state from, particularly, I will admit, the urban, educated, middle and professional classes who are my natural constituency everywhere in the country. Wherever I go in India, people come up to me who are not from Kerala, who seem to admire what I stand for, what I speak about, and the way in which I communicate my vision and my ideas. People want a certain clarity of vision, and they accept the fact that I have extensive experience beyond Kerala, which may not be true of as many of my colleagues. I have extensive experience beyond politics, which is also not so true of most of my colleagues, and therefore people listen to me. And if the Congress party wants to translate that into political support, that should be good. Young people, for example, value those qualities a lot. And so I have a decent following amongst the young everywhere in the country and in the state. And I'm very pleased to say that wherever I go, I get an enthusiastic reception. Why shouldn't the party want to use that for the party's benefit? I'm very happy to support. In turn, all I seek is some influence over the substantive directions of the party. Last time, 5 years ago, I chaired the manifesto committee. So I said, been there, done that, when they offered me that again. But my ideas for the manifesto have been conveyed, and I'm quite sure that many of them will be embraced. Now they made me a co-chair of the campaign committee, and that means that I will have a chance to take my message everywhere. I'll certainly go to all 14 districts. Whether the Election Commission will give us time for me to go to 140 constituencies, I don't know. But certainly I will do more than the 56 I was able to touch last time in a 3-week campaign. 3 weeks is 21 days. There are distances to be covered by road. So 56 in 21 days was actually pretty good going. But let's see, if we get more time than that, we'll do more campaigning.
But do you feel like you're being utilized enough by the party, Dr. Tharoor?
Look,
because your admirers, those who, and I'm not just talking about your fans, but people who are genuinely the constituents that you just described, the impulsive view is we just don't see enough of Dr. Tharoor on the big issues, on the issues where he would be on the front foot and can add a great deal of value for the Congress party and the opposition at large.
I think the party has to be given the right to determine who they want to speak or put forward on any particular issue, and I respect the party's right to do that. Remember, I have other forums available to me. I write very extensively around the country. I have columns in a couple of major newspapers. I have online columns as well, including one for NDTV. Yes. And of course, all of you catch me for the media whenever you can, which I admit is not as often as I would like, because I myself have to turn down 9 out of 10 invitations because of other commitments. But by working 18 hours a day, by being out there, by getting my message across, I don't feel limited to the political platform alone. I'm glad that in a certain sense, I seem to have a platform in my own right. When the party wants to use it, they are most welcome. When they don't need to use it, I'm very happy to use other platforms, and that's all I've been saying. It's not a negative comment on the party, far from it. It is merely saying that I am not feeling frustrated because I have other options.
Dr. Tharoor, you spoke about the UDF, you spoke about the LDF. I want to also ask you about the BJP in Kerala. You see the BJP, you see the centre gave Padma honours to V.S. Achyutanandan and also Natesan Velapalli. You see the Prime Minister going there quite often. There is political outreach, there is cultural symbolism. They have a mayor now, they have an MP now. So it looks like the BJP is a force that is here to stay in Kerala. Do you agree with that?
Look, I think they have long-term ambitions in Kerala. I don't think they have any short-term ambitions. I know the Home Minister came and said NDA will rule next time. I don't even think he believes it. To be honest, the BJP has a fundamental issue, which is its inability to outgrow the perception of communal bigotry, which sits very ill with Kerala. Their political agenda reflects a very North Indian sensibility. And this is something they're coming to terms with as they try and make inroads into Tamil Nadu and Kerala. They're finding out that the ethos of our places the cultural ethos, the civilization. We're very anchored in our civilization. But our civilization is one of pluralism, social harmony, coexistence, and so on, in ways that some of the BJP elements find it difficult to wrap their mind around. Even our biggest festival, Onam, celebrates the Asura king Mahabali, under whose rule people were equal, everyone was prosperous, and there was justice and fairness for land. The Devas got jealous and they sent Vishnu down as Vamana in order to trick Mahabali, who was a generous king, said, I need 3 steps worth of land. And Mahabali said, what are you going to do 3 steps? You're a dwarf. And Vamana says, no, 3 steps is all I need. And when he says, all right, I grant you your wish, and he always keeps his word, Vishnu, of course, grows enormous. With 1 step he covers the earth, with the 2nd step he covers the heavens, and then he turns to Mahabali and says, where should I put my 3rd step? And Mahabali, realizing who he's in the presence of, bows his head and says, you can put it on my head. And Vamana, Vishnu says, before I send you down to the nether regions, you have 1 wish. And what is his wish? He wants to come back once a year to see that his people are thriving and prosperous. So Onam is a celebration when Mahabali comes back once a year, and all communities, Hindus, Christians, Muslims, put on their finest clothes, have feasts and sadhyas, exchange gifts, wear new clothes, all of this stuff to show Mahabali that they're doing all right, his people are fine. This extraordinary thing, which is for us Christmas, Diwali and Holi combined, it's a huge event. That Onam, what did our dear BJP do when they were first taking interest in Kerala? They tweeted Happy Vamana Puja. And I had to point out, this is one of the most embarrassing faux pas you can imagine. They have not even understood the spirit of what Kerala is all about. They have to overcome that North Indian sensibility, come down to the heart and soul of people, and they have to drop this communal agenda. We have lived together for too long to mistrust each other because of their birth. We do not stigmatize people because of their religion, their names, their caste, whatever. That's done. We've been through a major set of renaissances from the middle of the 19th century to the middle of the 20th century. And during this time, the transformation in the mindset of Kerala has made Kerala one of the most progressive states in the entire union. Not just one of, I would say the most. And therefore, for the BJP to find a foothold, they should talk much more, if you don't mind me saying so, my language. They should be talking about integrating Kerala to the global economy. They should talk about bringing in new technologies. They should talk about development. They should talk about how they can transform Kerala. Then they might have a future. But as long as they are mired in the bag, you know what's happening right now? They try and come and reach out to the Christians of Kerala. And then promptly in Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh or Madhya Pradesh, some nuns and priests are bashed up because they're Christian or they're preaching there. And what happens? These are all usually Malayali Christian nuns and priests and so on. And they're writing home to their families saying, look what these horrible BJP people are doing to us. And there goes Pat, the BJP's Christian outreach. So the BJP has to decide what kind of party are we before we can reach out in Kerala. If they are willing to be a non-communal party, they're willing to stand up for Christian rights in the country everywhere, Muslim rights in the country everywhere, and say we are only a party of development, which was Narendra Modi's original message in 2014. If they can do that, they have a future. Otherwise, they have no future in Kerala.
A question that you've been asked, virtually the entire year, Dr. Tharoor, is about whether you have an especially cozy relationship with the BJP leadership and specifically with Narendra Modi. Not without reason, there have been some, in a sort of hyper-polarized political environment, even normal graces are seen as, over-friendly gestures which would be considered blasphemous, considering the divisions between the parties and the acrimony that exists. What is it right now? What is your relationship with Prime Minister Modi and the BJP?
Civil is the word I would use, even though there are 11 cases filed against me by BJP governments and BJP individuals on various completely frivolous and pointless grounds. And the fact is that if they were trying to be exceptionally friendly to me, they would not have done that to me. On top of that, I would agree with you that our environment politically has become so unnecessarily polarized, so unpleasantly divisive, that even the most civil things like wishing somebody on a birthday becomes interpreted as some sort of political gesture. I can tell you that that is not how Indian politics used to be. Certainly, when we were ruling, But even at that time, it was entirely common for Congress ministers to invite BJP MPs home for dinner, to have breakfast or lunch with them, to discuss issues. Dr. Manmohan Singh, when we had a controversial bill to get through, would invite the leader of the opposition and other leaders of the BJP to his home for breakfast and say, let's talk this through. There was always a sense that ultimately governance is a bipartisan political enterprise. I mean, what is politics, Shiva? I ask you both. Politics is about creating a better India. Otherwise, you shouldn't be in politics. If you have no vision of how to make a better country, better state, better anything, why are you in politics? Just for power? Power to do what? Not just to advance your own personal interests or that of your caste or clan or community. It has to be about a better society, a better country. And in that enterprise, you can have difference of opinion on how to get there. And we do. We have difference of opinion with the BJP. They have difference of opinion with the left. We have difference of opinion with the left. But at the end of the day, if we can at least trust the basic good faith of all parties that everyone wants a better India, and that only differences are on how to get there, then we can talk to each other with that much mutual respect. And if we can persuade them that on a particular issue they should work with us, that'll be good for democracy, good for the country. So I approach the other parties in that spirit. And I might say I've seen Pranab Mukherjee do exactly the same thing. There are other Congress leaders in earlier times who had very good relations with the opposition. It's tougher when the opposition is the government, because then your own side tends to mistrust that if you are being friendly to them because you're sucking up to the government for some benefits. I have had no benefits from the government, let me tell you very frankly. I was not the only opposition MP who led a delegation on Operation Sindoor. There's not one other thing anyone can point to that the government has given me that I have not earned the hard way by winning an election and getting there, or by being nominated by my own party to get it, or by doing things on my own right and my own steam, whether it's my speeches, my writings, my conferencing and so on. All that's my own initiative. It's contemptible of some people to suggest that my running around the world is at the invitation of the government. It's neither the request of, nor financed by, nor organized by the government. I get more international invitations than I'm able to accept, because fortunately I have a personal identity that has nothing to do with the government of India. So I don't need to suck up to the government. I speak as I believe. And sometimes that makes one set of people unhappy. Sometimes it makes the other set of people unhappy. That's life.
Yesterday, the Home Minister, in fact, used your name. He referred to you, said that, you should be teaching the opposition leaders how to behave. But my question to you, Dr. Tharoor, is also one of the issues where we expect everybody to speak in one voice is foreign policy. Do you think that in the middle of this war, India has been able to take the right step diplomatically? Is there something else that we should have done?
So when I first became the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament in 2014, I declared there is no such thing as a Congress foreign policy or a BJP foreign policy. There's only Indian foreign policy and Indian national interests. And I will speak from that spirit. I've tried to do that consistently. I have honestly believed that my country's interests should not change whoever is in power. Now, what are my concerns at the moment about the Middle Eastern war? Yes, there's no doubt whatsoever that international law has been breached colossally. You cannot attack in an unprovoked way. You cannot violate the UN Charter, sovereignty of the state of Iran. You cannot use force to pursue your objectives without any good cause. The argument of preemptive self-defense as opposed to classic self-defense, which clearly wasn't justified, is extremely specious, because not only did Iran not have a nuclear bomb, but the Omani negotiators were at that moment negotiating between the Americans and the Iranians said that the Iranians had already agreed to not only get rid of all their enriched uranium, but to have zero stockpiles of that and to have no nuclear weapons. The only thing pending in that negotiation was for America to promise structured sanctions relief. So if they had gone that far along, then where is the case for preemptive self-defense? So for all of these reasons, I've publicly stated, I've written about this, and I've said it publicly in speeches, the attack on Iran was a violation of international law. It was wrong. But at the same time, what are our interests? We need energy security. We need oil and gas. Don't forget gas, because Qatar sends all its gas through the Straits of Hormuz, and I believe 40% of our gas comes from Qatar. Then you've got undoubtedly the security, safety, and well-being of 9 million Indians in the Gulf Arab countries who are currently at the receiving end of drone attacks and missile attacks from Iran. So do you gain by grandstanding in attacking the Americans when you have so many larger interests at stake beyond this theater in that relationship. Now, that's a call the government can best make, and I've said publicly that I personally, if it were a Congress government today and I were advising a Congress Prime Minister, I would probably also not advise them to grandstand against the Americans because we have too many issues at stake, and also because our friends in the Gulf will expect us to show sympathy for them in terms of the attacks upon them from the Iranian side. At the same time, expressing condolences on the death of basically a head of state, the supreme leader of Iran, was the right thing to do, and I think we should do that. We have a long civilizational relationship with Iran. We may not have always been the happiest recipients of Iranian comments on some issues involving our interests. Excuse me. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't express sympathies and so on. When a tragedy like this is allowed to happen. There are lots of innocent people, 150 school children, who have been killed in attacks. We should certainly deplore that, regret it, ask for this to stop. I believe India should take a very, very major public role in calling for an end to the hostilities. On that, because that serves our interests, and that is not necessarily condemning either side. It is saying that the hostilities must end. Is hurting too many people who are not actually involved in the conflict.
Dr. Tharoor, final question. You've been part of global organizations. You've had a ringside view of how countries treat each other. I want your assessment of Trump and Trump's world and how that has changed how global organizations and countries actually function. In 2 weeks of this war, he has proven to be very malleable in terms of what his war aims really are. So what does Dr. Tharoor think of how Trump
malleable is a very polite word. He's been completely unpredictable, contradictory. One day he says it'll be over quickly, then he says 4 to 8 weeks, then he says there are no targets left to hit, so we might finish very soon. We don't know. I mean, the honest truth is Mr. Trump is unpredictable. He's extraordinary. There's never been a world leader like him, and certainly not at the helm of such an extraordinarily powerful country. I mean, he conducts diplomacy through tweets on Truth Social with all caps in the middle and so on. We've never seen anything like it. And what's more, we don't know how much to take at face value, because what he says today, he may not say tomorrow. What he says tomorrow, he may not do the day after. So we have to be constantly on our toes with the President of the United States, which is a very unusual place for any world leader to be. Some have basically chosen an act, frankly, of craven submission, of kowtowing, of subordinating. When you've seen the Pakistanis literally paying court to the president in various forums, from Washington to Sharm el-Sheikh. We can't do that. We haven't done it, and I'm glad we haven't done it. We should have a certain self-respect for the country we are. At the same time, I have always taken the view that we have nothing much to gain from grandstanding, criticizing. I mean, our job is not that of a running commentator on world affairs, least of all a moralistic one. Our job is one of looking after India's national interests. If we calculate that our national interests are served well by a particular stand, we will do so. If we say, hey, we have too much at stake here, we're not going to take a risk to offend somebody who could tomorrow turn around and slap 50% tariffs on us or whatever, then I think we have to exercise some self-restraint. At the end of the day, you have the sort of temporary gratification of having spoken your mind, got some headlines, won the applause of an echo chamber. I don't know whether at the end of the day you will have served your people and your country better. Remember that a lot of foreign policy stances in a complex democracy like India also has a domestic message. There are constituencies that political leaders have to aim at when they say or do certain things. When the costs were lower, you can say something to appease a particular section of your society, a particular religion, a particular sect, whatever. But when you have very high costs, then the political benefits of the one versus the costs of the other have to be weighed maturely. And that is what I believe the government needs to do, and so far I would say seems to have been doing. Now, I understand my party has been very critical, and I believe they have every right to do so. They made a strong case. Others have made persuasive arguments along these lines. I am very open-minded. I will listen to what they have to say. But so far, I have to be convinced in my personal capacity. Whatever the party does, I'm a good soldier of the party, I go along. But in my personal capacity, I have to be convinced, before I say or do something, that it advances the interests of my nation and my people. That's my only yardstick.
That's such a beautiful line to end the session on. Thank you, Dr. Tharoor, for being so authentic and candid with us, and all the best.
Aren't I always?
Yes, all the best for your Kerala campaign.
We look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.
Yes,
we
yes,
hope
I'll
we
be
get,
around,
you
and I hope
get to
NDTV
see
will be
every
too.
constituency as is being expected of you as well.
Well, come to any one of them, you might find me somewhere. The truth is you have 5 states to cover. How much attention you'll give Kerala, I don't know, but I believe
on NDTV we'll be giving it a lot of attention.
We'll
got a full team down
we'll
there.
have a lot of interesting stories to reveal. Take care.
All the best.
so much,
Thank you, Dr. Tharoor. Thank you.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने आईएनएस विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Where the Congress party was deciding its strategy, you know, you keep saying Team UDF, Team UDF. You've gone on a yatra. You've all announced guarantees. Do you watch cricket? As India celebrates Sanju Samson?
We all like cricket, especially this cricket. Sanju Samson was the star.
Sanju Samson was the star, but Surya Kumar Yadav was the captain. He's the captain. Who is the captain of Team UDF? Are you the Surya Kumar Yadav of Team UDF?
The politics, especially the Congress politics, is entirely different from cricket. Cricket is a captain, but the Congress politics, while we are facing the election, across the country, we are not announcing the Chief Minister candidate. Only after the election, we are selecting the Chief Minister candidate. There is a procedure to select that. Before election, my responsibility, I'm interested to bring back the UDF into power. So my duty is to coordinate all the leaders, all the coalition partners, and work among the people, and we have to bring it back.
You have to bring it back. But the problem, some would say, is it a disadvantage to go with collective leadership? And I'm asking you this serious question as we will go from the sensational to the substantial as well. You know, against a personality like Pinarayi Vijayan, is it important to have another personality to challenge that in an election like this? You've seen many elections. In fact, your margin of victory in every election since 2001 has been higher than the previous one. Do you believe it's a disadvantage? Do you think it's time that there has to be categorical clarity?
This is a party procedure. If I have my own opinion, there is no relevance on that. But collective leadership is good, because if I am taking a decision, it has to be discussed with the other leaders also. Then after the interactions with the other leaders, when we are reaching a conclusion, it will be good. All the merits and demerits will be discussed. Then while we are reaching a conclusion, it will be good. The collective leadership is having an advantage. And Congress is very lucky in Kerala. We have a galaxy of leadership.
You are saying that you have lots of leadership. You see, I come from Karnataka. And you know what's happening there in Karnataka? You know, in 2023, the Congress had a sweeping victory. For the last 3 years, we are only discussing if there is going to be a change of power, etc. Now, you know, let me throw a googly at you. Do you believe 3 years down the line, we will be discussing internal Congress power politics if the UDF comes to power?
No. For me, I have already told you that I am interested to bring back. There is an assignment. After completing the assignment, whatever the party decides, I will go with that. No complaint, nothing will be there. All the leaders are, we are very close to each other. Our families are very close to each other. We can settle ourselves very easily in Kerala. We have been working for a long time. For the last 4 or 5 decades, everybody knows each other. So we have a very good relation, just like a family relation. We can settle ourselves. I don't think that there will be any problem. Anyway, from my part, nothing will be there.
From your part, nothing will be there. So tell me something. Let me delve a little bit on the personal before I go into the ideological and substantial issues. You say you're all personal friends. How is a conversation behind the scenes like? Like, for instance, when you are having a conversation with each other in terms of your party and your structure, is it about individual importance, and is that target that eventually who's going to be the king matter, or is it still just a personal conversation at the moment? You keep it all aside.
We are all human beings. That may be in their minds. But behind the scene, we are debating on every subject. Then we are reaching on a conclusion. Nothing more than. Nothing more.
And so tell me, last question on this subject before I go forward. The decision yesterday by the CEC that none of the MPs will contest the elections, is that a clear message that it's...
CEC have not taken such a decision.
Okay.
They have to take a decision on that.
Okay.
I think within 3 or 4 days, the Congress High Command will take a decision regarding the contest of the MPs. They will take a decision.
But given the kind of MPs that you have, the fact that Congress has been really powerful, do you believe that it's an advantage, or should it be the local leadership? What should be the consideration for the Congress in terms of strategy as you enter as this election season?
Selecting candidates.
Yes.
Selecting candidates, we have a method. We will invite the applications from the leaders, those who are interested in the contesting in the election. Then we will collect their biodata, profile, everything. We know everybody. We know all the constituencies. We know all the 140 constituencies, their political and social balances, everything. So who will be the best? The winnability will be the main criteria, and also the social balance.
So in that winnability criteria, and the question that I was asking, do you think it's an advantage to have national leaders contest an assembly election, or do you believe that it should be left to the state leadership?
I don't have any objection if some national leader is contesting. I don't have any objection. But we have to take a decision on that, whether the MPs can contest or not.
Okay.
More MPs are interested. If the party allows, they will contest. Then the High Command has to take a decision on that. Then single opinion is not, there is an impropriety if I am saying my own opinion.
You've ducked all my bouncers. You've played very well. You've waited for the fast balls to go. Let me come to the slower deliveries right now. 2021 it would be right to say it was a disaster for the Congress in terms of electoral results here in Kerala. What has changed from 2021 to 2026 when you say Team UDF, you've started early? What's been the crucial change between 2021 and 2026?
When I was taking over this position in 2021, the UDF position was very vulnerable because all the leaders and rank and file were demoralized because the continuous defeat. That was not happening for a long time in Kerala. After a long time, continuous defeat happened. Then the complete morale have gone. Then we started very slowly, giving morale to the workers and coalition partners also. Coalition partners. Then we started to win the elections. There were so many by-elections to the assembly as well as to the local body. The first by-election was in Trikagara. Our candidate died, P.T. Thomas. He won with 12,000 votes. Then all the ministers, chief minister, went to that constituency. They were camping for 1 month. Then we started election with a professional skill and we won with 25,000 votes, double. We predicted the result also. Then we won another election in Pudupalli, where Ummanchandi died. Ummanchandi won that last election with 9,000 votes. We won with 4 times majority. That is about 37,000 votes. Then all the by-elections, we won with wonderful margin. Then the by-elections to the local bodies, we won all the elections. That gave morale to the rank and file and to the leaders also. And then in the parliament election, we won 18 out of 20 seats with more margin than in 2019.
That's right.
19. But I said, when we won the election in 2019, we were all overconfident on the 21 election. Because we thought that the parliament election, we had a very high result. So it will be repeated in the, that we learned from that election. I have already stated to the leaders that time itself, this pattern is different. The election to the Lok Sabha and election to the assembly and election to the local body, that varies, the pattern. But they were overconfident. But now, after winning the parliament election, I spoke to all the leaders that you remove from your mind that we won with a wonderful margin. That another election we have to prepare. Then we started the Mission 2025, the local body election.
Correct.
And we received a very big victory within the last 30 years. Before 30 years, this Panchayat Raj system, Nagarapalika system started in Kerala. So we received a big victory in the last 30 years. Then the next election, we started the Mission 2026. We are expecting more than 100 seats. All the elections, in all the by-elections to the assembly, all the election to the parliament, to the election to the local body, we predicted before the election. And all the prediction,
you know, I will just go back a little bit in history. I think 2011 elections, if I remember right, the Congress was supremely confident that it was going to return to power. And it did return to power, but towards the last minute, there was a massive V.S. Achuthanandan surge that one saw, and it became a very close election at the end of the day. Is there a fear? Do you feel that we're still, let's say, 1 month away from the elections? You all have done a yatra, you've come back. What's your biggest worry at the moment? From now to the date of polling, what would be your biggest concern and the biggest challenge for the UDF?
After the yatra, I learned that there is a huge level anti-incumbency against the government.
Okay.
That didn't work fully in the local body election. Because local body election, there are other factors. The influence of the candidate, the areas specific, another issues. But it is going to be worked in the assembly election against the government, number one. Number two, we have been exposing the government and we have been criticizing the government for a long time. That is the duty of the opposition, to expose the failures of the government. But here, the first time in the history of the country, we are saying that we are not only the opposition. We are ready to solve the problems. Wherever the government failed, we have alternatives. We have been working on that for the last 2 years. There are so many narratives. We said the health Kerala is in ventilator, for example. So we have to change the health positions in Kerala. So we appointed a health commission. We conducted a health conclave. 300 doctors participated inside and outside the country. Then large level discussions among the health workers. Then we prepared a health document. That is the alternative. our narrative was brain drain is happening. So within 5 years, Kerala will be an old age home. So we worked on that. We conducted a health conclave with the academicians. We prepared a document. Now we are going to install a global job watchtower. Our assessment is that our courses in the higher education field are outdated courses. The nature of jobs have been changing very fast in the global level. So we have to watch what is happening in the job market. Then we will install a global job watchtower, and they will observe that, and we will start the corresponding courses, and we will reskill the skilled persons. That is our idea in the health education.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt you here. While you are putting all these plans in terms of core issues that's there, the promises that you have delivered are also about the guarantees that have delivered. Some would argue are freebies and welfare measures. I mean, where do you see the difference between substantial economic policies and change vis-a-vis freebies in an electoral atmosphere?
I agree with you in certain point. I agree with you because I have differences of opinion like you. I agree with you. But in our freebies, the major thing, I cannot say that a freebie, the insurance scheme. Then Rajasthan government implemented it. Excellent performance, that insurance scheme. So in the health scheme, when we went through the health issues in Kerala, we found that out-of-pocket expense, Kerala is number one in India. I was surprised. 70% out-of-pocket expense for a patient. 70% in Kerala. Then we studied a lot about the other states. Tamil Nadu was 64% 5 years back. But the Stalin government managed it to 32% within 5 years. Then we declared that the first phase, we will reduce the out-of-pocket expense to 50%. Then the second phase, we will reduce to 1/3. The first step is the insurance coverage. Insurance coverage. There should be some control. This is a peripheral thing when we are declaring this thing. We have to go through that. Then we have studied a lot. Then we know what is the burden on the exchequer. What will be the burden on the exchequer. And another freebie, you can say that it is a freebie, free for all the women in the KSRTC buses. That the passengers, especially the women passengers, those who are traveling in the KSRTC bus are ordinary women. For example, I have studied the ladies, those who are traveling in the KSRTC buses in my constituency. Most of them are housemaids in the city. My place is a suburban area. They are going to the city as housemaids for a meager income. And they have to spend a lot for the KSRTC expense. Then I have learned it 10 years back. Then when I get an opportunity, I said we have to give free, that they will be happy for that. Then we have to give the subsidies. At the same time, we have to make some projects to make the KSRTC self-reliant. We have certain schemes for the KSRTC, for the KSCB, LCT Board, and the Kerala State Civil Supplies Corporation, for making all these corporations self-reliant. For another thing, the price rise. Kerala is number one in the country. Number one. For the last 12 months, government cannot intervene in the market. Market intervention is very poor because they have to pay huge amount to the Civil Supplies Corporation. Then we studied about the Civil Supplies Corporation. They are procuring the essential commodities from outside the state. Then we discussed with the supply chain managers, with the experts. Then we prepared a plan to make the Civil Supplies Corporation self-reliant. We are going to install the storage facilities. For example, something we are getting at the crop season, maybe chili. For example, we will get it at 25 rupees per kilo. then we have to store it. Then at the off-season,
promises are after detailed study of the situation, not just a copy from Karnataka.
Correct.
Is that right?
Right.
But to an outside audience, from national perspective, we say, okay, this worked in Karnataka, this worked in Telangana, and the same thing has been put in here.
But we have studied from there also. For example, the insurance scheme from Rajasthan, what happened there, it was successful, whether it was successful or not. And I have already stated that the fiscal situation in Kerala is very vulnerable. We are in debt, but we have alternatives. The alternatives, I will say, the peripherally I will tell you that we need very good finance management, which lacks for the last 10 years. Second, we need to have a planned tax administration. I will tell you in detail. The third, we have to stop the leakages from the treasury. Then we have to stimulate the economy. The tax administration, I will tell you, Kerala is a consumer state. Everybody agrees.
Okay.
Number one consumer state in the country. GST is entirely different from what? GST is an endpoint tax. What was from the manufacturing side. This is from the consumer side. What is entirely different from GST. Kerala would have been the number one beneficiary in the country in the GST matter. But unfortunately, we are not getting about 10% tax growth. Actually, it should be above 30% tax growth. Why? What happened? We studied that we have not restructured the tax administration according to the provisions of the GST. We still continuing the provisions of the what? What is entirely different from GST. So we have to intervene. Very professionally we have to intervene. Then we will be able to increase our tax growth within 1 year. Another example, I made a statement on the floor of the assembly that for the 5 years, you have been losing 25,000 crores as IGST. IGST is while we are purchasing something from Karnataka or other states, we have to pay the tax. Then we have to sell it here. We have to make a submission to the central pool. This amount goes. It will be reimbursed. Unfortunately, the tax administration system is very poor. We were not able to get the 25,000 crores. Then I was teased by all the ministers and for my surprise, within 3 months, the Gulati Institute, Taxes Studies, the government department submitted a report that you have been losing 25,000 crores.
So, those who followed you know that you are an astute financial, state finances academic in terms of the study and questioning of it. Famous is your Thomas Isaac versus you face off and all that. I want to ask you this specific question. From the points that you're making, are you saying then Kerala's problem, because, and I'll set the context, a lot of opposition ruled states have blamed the center for their economic problems. Do you say that Kerala, and I want an objective answer from you, do you say that Kerala's problem is more because of the state government, or is it because of central issues that's there? And what would your message be to opposition states across the board who say that the central government has been unfair to them?
It is only one of the factors. One of the factors. That is not the one reason for all this vulnerability in the fiscal situation. I don't agree with that. There are. Because when the 16th Finance Commission came to Trivandrum, we made a presentation that the Finance Commission appreciated the opposition, that you have made it well, more than the government. We made it because we were getting 3.5% tax portion before 15 years back. I think it was in the 10th Finance Commission. Now we were getting only 1.92.
Okay.
It was reduced. Now, after our presentation and government presentation, after many pressures, now it is increased to 2.5. We will get more. We will get more. And we have to get the due share to the states, because GST 50% is going to the center. 50% only is getting the state. So we have to get the due share. That we will fight for that. But I cannot say that this is the only reason for this vulnerability.
You are saying that it cannot just be the state government. My final question as we go along on this welfare schemes topic, before I move further to another topic, is are you confident that you will be able to deliver the promises that the UDF has made? Because if the UDF comes to power, because we've had two experiments. One is in Karnataka where the promises were delivered largely, but it's under serious question right now in terms of the viability for how long in perpetuity. The other is Telangana, where the government has been struggling to fulfill some of the promises. Will Kerala be able to deliver if the UDF comes to power on the promises that have been?
We have studied a lot that the burden on the exchequer, each declaration, what will be the burden on the exchequer, how can we manage? We know the fiscal situation in Kerala more than the government. For example, I have been watching this thing as an MLA for the last 25 years. We know everything regarding the fiscal position.
Sorry to interrupt you. The reason why I'm asking you this question is that we will leave the Chief Minister's decision to the High Command, but you are most likely going to be the Finance Minister. You have to handle this.
No. The thing is that the problem with regard to the exchequer, the prime duty of a state is to fill the exchequer, to collect the tax in a rational manner, without affecting. As Chanakya said in Arthashastra, just a butterfly is taking honey from the flower. The flower doesn't feel that the butterfly is taking something from the flower. Just like the government has to impose the tax on the people. The people, without knowing, we have to take the tax. Then the tax administration is also very important. We have to fill the exchequer. Then only we will be able to implement all these programs. Otherwise, as you said, it will be failed.
Okay.
It will be failed.
So when you make all this point, and I want to go to the larger international conflict that's playing out, and the conflict in West Asia, it's not clear how long, how prolonged will be there. Kerala, large remittances, largely interlinked to the Gulf. What do you believe the economic impact will be, and also the ideological, political impact of the conflict that's playing out in the Gulf?
Definitely, we have to study a lot regarding the implications. Nowadays, since it is a global village, whatever is happening anywhere in the world, it will affect the entire world. You know that the Ukraine war affected the entire oil system and everything. Now the scarcity of the gases started across the country. Even though the government assured that there won't be any
problem. Do you think it will impact the elections here?
Pardon?
Do you think it will impact the elections?
Definitely it will impact. The gas cylinder LPG gas cylinder is very important. We will definitely campaign because the government of India ensured that there won't be any problem in the distribution of the LPG.
But you are campaigning against the left here. How does that relevance come to the left and the state government?
We are also campaigning. The problem is very important, that the remittance, that is the backbone of Kerala economy. If the war continues, it will affect the remittance also. Definitely it will, otherwise it is reducing that remittance itself. And we are facing another problem also. No government studied. There is reverse remittance in Kerala. Because according to the government statistics, more than 3 million outside states guest workers are in Kerala. Every Saturday they are getting the weekly wages. And every Monday they are sending it to their states. The huge amount is siphoning from the state. We have not calculated the amount. For example, I will tell you, 10 years back, if you are investing in Trivandrum 100 crores for constructing a building, it was sure that the 40 to 50%, that is 40 crores to 50 crore will go to the houses of laborers around the city or the suburbs of the city. Now you are sure that the 40 to 50%, that is 50 crores will go to the other states. Because all the workers are guest workers. But it is also affecting the economy of the state because huge amount is siphoned from our state. That is, I said, the reverse remittance. Maybe may not be equal to the remittance are coming from abroad. But we have to study these things also.
No, it's an important point, but just to delve a little bit on the politics of it, earlier in the day, John Britas was saying, you were talking about guest workers. He says that Congress has guest politicians who come from Delhi to campaign in the state. They have no relevance to the state. He was referring to the top leadership of the Congress party.
He is saying that there are no leaders in the central for CPM, just like Sitaram Yechuri to campaign in the other states. They are also lacking leaders. I said that we have galaxy of leadership.
But left is exporting leaders from Kerala, Congress is importing leaders from outside.
Left, our chief minister is not going for campaign for CPM anywhere, even in Bengal. Because he is having a nexus between the BJP. So, he is not campaigning.
You know, this is an allegation you've made. Where does this nexus allegation stem from between the chief minister and the BJP? Is there really any evidence or any substantial thing you can state to prove that there is some kind of understanding between
I will tell you one thing. There was a case, SNC Lavalin case, against the chief minister. That has been pending. The appeal filed by the CBI has been pending, I think, 7 or 8 years in the Supreme Court. 41 times it was postponed. Whenever the case is coming up, CBI counsel is not appearing. You look into the other states, wherever the non-BJP states, the central agencies are behind the leaders. In Delhi, in Karnataka, in Telangana, many other states. All the central agencies are behind. Mamata Banerjee, Bengal, they are all behind the non-BJP state leaders, other leaders, non-BJP leaders. But in Kerala, nothing happened.
So you are saying that that's a tacit kind of understanding that's there. Well, many would question, because even the corruption allegations that the Congress has made, and you've gone to courts as well, you've not been able to substantially, convincingly prove it. Is it merely a political allegation? It seems on the periphery as a merely political allegation.
We have proved it. But the court said that there was no corruption. It is too late to intervene. Court never said that there is no corruption in those cases. But it is too late to intervene because the project is completed. The project is completed. After that, we got materials to prove that it was corruption.
In public perception, has it become genuinely an issue? Is it genuinely an issue in public perception, corruption?
Definitely it is there. Definitely it is there. For example, there are CAG reports. In the pandemic situation, this government-owned Medical Services Corporation supplied outdated medicines, which is fatal to the people. And it was distributed in the government hospitals. We made allegation. That was approved by the CAG report.
Okay.
There is a clear case. The outdated medicines were supplied. In the country, the biggest commission for the outdated medicines. The percentage of the outdated medicines commission is 80%. Because according to the rules, they have to destroy the pharmaceutical companies have to destroy the outdated medicine. These people are buying the outdated medicine. So when they are getting 100 crores, they are giving it back to 80 crores, 80% commission. The biggest commission, pharmaceutical, this outdated medicine business. They have distributed in the pandemic situation.
No, so when you make that point, and I want to move away because it's a contentious issue, right? Anywhere allegations till it's substantially proven is a matter in question. But let me move to the other big question. We were talking about the West Asia conflict as well. In a state with a large minority population, over a 25% Muslim population, how the impact socially of what's happening in West Asia? And I also want to ask you a very important question here. Are you worried about radicalization as well in the state? Is that a genuine worry that you all have?
No, that is not I don't think that time is here. But may happen in the future. If it is continuing, anything may happen. Anything. Because the remittance are very important, and job security are very important. The families are in trouble now. All the families are in trouble. Not only the minority communities, all the communities are abroad. For example, not only the Muslims, the Christian community, they are all outside the Gulf area, and Hindu community, major percentage of the Hindu community members are in abroad. GCC is absorbing irrespective of the community and everything. In my family, there are so many persons in the Gulf. Although, not the religious wise. Gulf is absorbing everybody. So all the families are in trouble. When there is an insecurity in the GCC, that will definitely affect the Kerala, because a large diaspora is in Gulf.
No, so you make that point, and the reason why I asked you about radicalization, the question is that on the one hand, the UDF claims to be the defender of secularism, but the question that's raised by the BJP and the left is also your alliance partner IUML. It's a party which is dependent on identity politics based on a religious identity. How do you then justify that it's a secularism? Would you concede that there is a communal element to it?
It's a very good question. I appreciate you. I'll get an opportunity to explain. For the last 4 decades, the IUML were with us. Before that, they were with the CPM. When they were with the CPM, they were secular. When they were with UDF, the CPM is saying that they are communal. For example, after the 21 election, there were some unrest in the UDF. So the CPM tried a lot to get the IUML to the LDF. Then I will show you the statements made by the CPM leaders that IUML is secular. IUML is good party. But after some time, the IUML leader Panakkad Sadiq Ali Shihab Thangal made a statement, categorical statement, that there are 1,000 reasons to remain in the UDF for IUML. There is not even one reason to go to the LDF. There is not even one reason to go. Then everything closed. Then the CPM started. Then they became the communal party. Till then, they were secular party. I have a question to the Kerala public. They have taken a strong secular stand in all the time. For example, after the demolition of the Babri Masjid, across the country there were riots. But I am Shihab Thangal has taken a strong stand. Be with the brothers, Hindu brothers, no fight here. That was a very good statement. It was appreciated by all the communities. My question is that if we are weakening the IUML, or there is no IUML in Kerala, who will take over that space? Who will take over that space? Why the IUML? It's a very relevant question. The extreme outfits will take over that space, because the IUML is fighting with the extreme outfits. And all these extreme outfits in the majority community as well as the minority community are helping each other. Helping each other in another sense. If somebody in the minority community extreme outfits are doing some mischief, it will help the others. They have a stand. If they are doing something badly, they will be relevant. So they are helping indirectly each other. So my question is very clear. If they are weakened in a particular situation, that space will be taken over by the extreme outfits.
Why can the Congress not play that space? If you are truly secular, why is it that the Congress cannot play that space?
They have been in the party as a party, they have been working for a long time. In that area, their area, they have been doing a lot of charity work. Maybe the Indian Union Muslim League may be the #1 party in India doing the charity work in a huge level.
Okay.
They are having very strong hold among the people among the people. That is good for the country, good for the state, good for everybody.
All right. No, so, we've discussed the ideological elements. I just want last couple of questions briefly. Final one, of course, on Team UDF. But in terms of the people in West Asia, the Malayalis in West Asia who are there at the moment, who are trapped, what do you believe the government needs to do at the moment in terms of reaching out? Because several of them continue to remain stranded there in West Asia. And when they come back here, there will not be jobs. So this is going to be a multi-layered task.
The government has to take an initiative for evacuation of the people, those who are stranded. But I think now we are discussing with all the organizations in Gulf, all the Malayali organizations, various organizations. Our political organizations also are working there. They are helping the people. But there is no such situation now in, there is an insecurity, what may happen in the future. But still today, there is no problem.
Okay.
They are feeling that it will be finished within few days. But the government of India has to take a stand, international stand also, to stop the war. They have to take initiative.
Right.
They have to take initiative. In all the days when Rajiv Gandhi was there, Indira Gandhi was there, we used to take initiative. But unfortunately, we are not talking to the world leaders.
Okay.
I don't know what is happening in the international politics. What is the role of India in the diplomatic things? That is another subject to be debated.
Right. So when you say initiative, is there a specific point of intervention in mind? Because it's easy to criticize, some would say, difficult to actually act in a situation which is extremely delicate.
Yeah. They have to take. India is having a legacy of intervening such issues. Intervening such issues in many times. We have intervened in the world matters. But unfortunately, there is no sign from Delhi.
Okay,
They are only watching.
You're saying no sign from Delhi. As I finish this conversation very briefly, you keep saying Team UDF, Team UDF. It's a social coalition. I've asked you about the captain. I've asked you about the facets of Team UDF. Tell me, you're a voracious reader. You're also a trekker. Which is your most favorite trekking point, and which is the book you think Team UDF should be reading at the moment as it charts its election strategy?
My favorite trekking point is Kabani.
In Karnataka?
Karnataka, Kabani. There are possibility to see the wildlife also. It's a very good place. Very good place. I like all the places in Kerala, the Periyar Tiger Reserve, Silent Valley, Parambikulam, Muttanga, and all the places. And in Tamil Nadu also there are Muttanga, there are a lot of places. I have trekked almost all the places. At the age of 18, I started with my friends. Then now it is a hobby. Whenever I get time, I used to go there.
But what is the book you think Team UDF should be reading at the moment? What is it that you would give Mr. Chenitala, Mr. Tharoor and Mr. K.C. Venugopal to read?
There are so many books to read. I used to read the fictions, the history books, the finance books. I used to update all finance books, everything. So my favorite writer is Orhan Pamuk. He is a Turkish writer. He is my favorite writer. And last year, I liked the book very much, that Arundhati Roy's Mother Mary Comes to Me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good book. Now I am suggesting this book to everybody. It's a very good book.
All right, you made your book suggestion. All the best for the election campaign. It's going to be a tough campaign as you head into this. And perhaps at the end of the election campaign, once voting is over, before Congress politics comes up, if the UDF comes to power, you can maybe take a break in Karnataka's Kabini. And maybe you should discuss with DK Shivakumar also about what happens post-polls.
No, definitely I will go to Kabini or somewhere. Definitely after the polling and the counting. If there is a time, I will go not only Kabani, many places. So for last 1 year, I was not able to go there. So the Periyar is waiting for me, Silent Valley and Parambikulam, all those places are waiting for me.
So you've made poll promise. I'll extract one promise from you as I let you go. If UDF comes to power and if you become the chief minister, you will do an interview with us in Kabini.
That is a hypothetical question. He is trying to trap me on that question.
No, I was genuinely asking.
Wait and see.
Thank you very much, Mr.
very
V.D.
much.
Satheesh. Fantastic conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks
It was very
much for
nice.
joining
Thank
us.
you.
Let's get you breaking news coming in, and that is following high-level talks between the Indian External Affairs Minister S. Shankar and the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Iran has now agreed to allow Indian flag tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Special vessels are moving safely. In fact, there are two Indian tankers, the Pushpak and the Parimal, who have reportedly passed safely through the strait, even as vessels from the United States and Europe and Israel continue to face restrictions. So the Iranian side has now agreed to allow Indian-flagged oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz following the high-level diplomatic engagement. The understanding was reached after talks between the two foreign ministers, that is the minister here from India, the foreign minister also speaking with the Iranian foreign minister Araghchi, and at least two Indian tankers, Pushpak and Parimal, have already been reportedly moving safely through the strait, even as several vessels continue to face major restrictions. Akhilesh, my colleague, joining us. Akhilesh, the Strait of Hormuz has really been the flashpoint between the two sides, and now at a time when Iran has